Hello and welcome to Zelda Speedruns. Today we have another qualifier for the Ocarina of Time Dungeon Door requirement tournament. It's the fourth qualifier, and commentators for this will be Dobby Digital and Soulblade. Say hello. Say hello.
Hello.
So,
How are you today?
Dobby had to step off last second, so he will join us soon. But we also see the runners going off in a few seconds. And there he is again.
Hello, hello.
Have fun with the race.
We'll see. We got quite a number of people in this race, so it should be pretty exciting for this Father's Day race. Happy Father's Day to all fathers that may be in chat, and if there aren't any in chat, Happy Father's Day to the fathers of those people. And we're off. Perfect. So for those of you who may be less familiar with DDR, it's a glitch rule set specifically for Randomizer that kind of aims to balance some of the glitches in the game, where it bans some of the most powerful glitches in the game while allowing more of the quality of life ones. In order to do a lot of those glitches, they are going to need some items. So to start out with, you're going to see them go around and collect a bunch of items as quickly as possible. That's a pretty disgusting Midos has. But yes, Vanilla Greg, that is true. This clearly is a good seed.
Clearly.
1 minute. It's the Greg % world record. So we see Nepe going down to the lake. Might be opting for the song route.
Songs are pretty powerful.
This is true. Warp songs are always good just for movement purposes, but there are some songs that may be particularly useful for our medallions once we find out what those are. So it looks like Azure might be heading off to Deku Tree. Apparently Azure on team buy a shield.
I feel buying a Deku shield is usually worth it, because then you could crouch stab if you get a broken stick or a sword.
Well, and it also lets you, in DDR, it lets you use infinite sword glitch, which is particularly nice for the stick farming. We'll probably see him, yeah, so we'll see him right now going to farm up those more Deku sticks.
Yes. ISG is a nice...
If you're unfamiliar with glitch Ocarina of Time, ISG is a technique where you crouch stab and interrupt that action with some kind of other thing. And that causes you to be swinging your sword, or in this case, Deku stick, every single frame. So yeah, as the command has there, DDR, it's a glitch rule set. So the major thing, as you mentioned, is it bans some very powerful glitches of the game, notably item manipulation, wrong warp, and hovering, as well as there's some others. You feel like you have the full list. The other major requirements is that you have to enter dungeons more or less the intended way, and you have to get to boss rooms by standing in front of the boss door and pressing A. So as a child, that just means opening boss door, and as an adult, that also requires the boss key. A very clean song route for so far for Nefe to get here right at nighttime. You also see as we're going for the Deku Tree play. In this particular case, that's quite interesting, since they started with a stone. And how the settings work for DDR, it's you need 1 stone in order to access Ganon's castle. And you need 5 medallions in order to get the Ganon's boss key from the light arrow cutscene.
Hey, Richard had a stone rumble pack.
Playing fetch. I really hope that that someone has like a Deku stick from like the Richard thing, because then it's literally you're playing fetch with him.
Also, I see that Asder found a Deku shield in the Deku tree.
Of course, that's how it works. As Shiro likes to say, the seed provides.
You always find a shield right after you buy one. It just happens.
That's how it works. It's required, actually. I'm pretty sure that if you don't find a shield right after you collect one, something's wrong with the seed.
Yeah, but then if you don't buy one, you won't find that shield. It's just weird.
Oh, of course. It's how it works. Murphy's Law, you know. We also did see Nefe clip into the our slingshot minigame here. That's a fairly easy clip, though it's a little bit annoying to set up because of the fixed camera angle. But you just jump from the box over the door and hit the loading zone. So there you go. You're gonna have all of the heart containers and heart pieces. Ooh, we got a Hero's Path in Domain. Skull Mask is basically dead. I missed the first 2 hints. A path hint, though, for Zora's Domain is quite interesting. If you are unfamiliar with what the hero's path is, that's something that's different from Way of the Hero. Way of the Hero will appear. Those hints will appear in blue with slightly different wording, and that's indicating that logically that item is required in order to beat the game. So if you remove that item, the seed becomes unbeatable logically. On the flip side, the path heroes, which you'll see pop up in green, those are just referring to, we have a predefined list of items that we consider pretty good, and it's just indicating that one of those items is in there. You can sort of think of it as it's saying that that area isn't foolish.
I think I saw one there for GTG.
And that,
yep,
yeah,
sure
GTG,
did.
another one too.
Double GTG Path the Hero.
Ooh, wow, GTG is stacked. Goron dead and River Wave the Hero. Wow. River Wave the Hero is another interesting one. Nice to know that Goron is dead. Song of Storms on OOT is an interesting one. Since that might be an indication, or you might need that in order to access 2 checks in the game. You don't need it, though, in order to access the bottom of the well.
No, you just need the song from the adult, right? No, you could just glitch down there with the real set that we have.
Yeah, you're able to either do a Cuckoo Dive, which is objectively the best way. You can also do a Navi Dive, which is acceptable. You could theoretically do any other cutscene dive, those are more rare. Or you could do the objectively bad way to do it, which is, of course, using Song of Storms. I mean, intended ways.
Ugh.
Ugh. I mean, you can. Well, shame.
Just straight up Zelda's Lullaby off of Zelda? What is this?
Alright, Siberian's right. I don't know if this is even randomized. Yeah, Scrubs. So Scrubs sanity is not turned on. So there are still the 2, or I think it's 2 locations that always have items that are on Scrubs, but nothing other than that is. There's nothing. This is interesting routing from Asder. Asder went for Deku Tree before Mido's house. This is some very interesting routing.
This big brain routing right there.
This is big brain. I mean, we'll see if it's big brain. We'll see if it pays off.
Well, there wasn't anything in Mido, so it might.
Yeah, there wasn't anything in Deku Tree either.
There was a stone. You need one of those.
Oh, true. You do need the paperweight. Oh no, the stone. Well, they don't need the Goron ruby.
Oh, because they
Since
started with the Zora Sapphire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you might need all the stones for the Song of Storms.
And we hope they don't have to do that, but it's possible. Wow, Link just refusing to look at Malon plays the song. That's kind of a little weird, though.
Look at my back.
This looks like Asder might now be heading for those song locations that Nefe did earlier, so we might end up seeing some looping. Cool. You know, Nefe clearing out Lon Lon.
Just
so
some
this
cash in the window.
Who needs that? 20 bucks? Yeah, it's fine. So yeah, so this randomizer, we're using the DDR rule set. So for the full details, you can check out there. But in general, DDR is it's a glitched rule set, so it does allow glitches. It bans some of the most powerful ones, notably item manipulation, wrong warp, and bomb hovering. But it allows a lot more of the quality of life stuff. So you'll see some interesting things like some clipping that aren't reaching dungeons, as well as probably some movement tech like hover sliding, super sliding, and maybe even some passing. Well, I don't know if we'll see Child Shadow. We can hope. We got a Child Shadow yesterday on stream. It was like chef's kiss.
Yeah, doing Child Shadow is fun.
It's definitely very interesting and a non-trivial thing to do. So it's always impressive to see someone do it successfully. It's particularly nice if they have double defense and 10 hearts, and so you wait 20 minutes for them to die at the end. Not that would ever happen. Correct. So you are required to enter dungeons more or less the correct way. What that means more specifically is that you have to unlock the door if there is a lock, and then go through it while it's from inbounds. So in the case of Shadow Temple, all you have to do is light the torches. However you do that, and then walk into the door. So you can't unload the door in order to access it. But as long as the torches are lit, you're good to go. How you do that? It's fine.
Just left that meme item right there on the wall.
Wow.
Feels bad.
Feels bad, man. And for those of you who aren't necessarily think that Neighbor's Love is completely useless, in DDR that's not entirely the case. A lot of our techniques that we use revolve around rolling into explosions to use the iframes. But because it revolves around iframes, you can do those tricks super easily using Neighbor's Love. So if you are interested in learning some fun super slides and stuff like that, that's a fun way to do it.
Nehru's is really good for super sliding. Lets you practice without killing yourself.
Yeah, that is also very good. Practice Realm also works fantastically for that. Infinite Bomb Experience. Also, hi, Katie. No, Siberion rolled the seed, not Shira. So we have hopes that it might not be completely dressed.
Verdict's still out on that one.
Yeah, we'll see.
Also, looking at the tracker tracks over here, we got only one child dungeon normally for our medallions. The rest are all usually adults, but we'll see where they end up.
Yeah. Yeah, based on our medallion layout that we see from our runners, this is a pretty gross layout. So I'm not saying that Siberian definitely rolled a gross seed, but the layouts are pretty gross. Having Dodongos and Deku as the two other stones is oof.
At least those are short, so if you have to do them, it won't take a long time.
Yeah, if you do have to do all dungeon, thankfully it won't take a while, but I think most of our players would much rather have Dodongos and Deku as medallions, since you have to do 5 of those.
Yeah, probably. Jabu is a gross medallion.
Yeah, the good thing for Jabu is that it's fast if you do it in Go mode, but it does require the boomerang, so that can be a little scary. Now, we do see Azure go for the early adult play. You do typically see a lot of early adult in DDR, especially to do things like Kakariko, since almost everything you can do as child, you can do better and faster as adult.
That, and there's a one song locked behind Jabu too, off Burning Cag. Or no, that's the wrong medallion, isn't it?
No, yeah, it is locked behind. The Nocturne is locked behind Jabu, so I don't think we've seen anyone go for that yet, or see a hint for that. Sorry.
Thought that was a bomb bag for a second. It was just a big wallet.
You definitely want to see a bomb bag, but yeah, wallets are. You can't warp in here. Huh. Apparently, you can't warp in here. Ooh, just missed that jump back out.
Feels bad.
Feels bad, man.
What's the what does enable useful cutscenes on mean?
So there are 3 cutscenes, so I'm not sure if that's actually changed in the recent dev, because I think it's actually now only 2. But either way, bare minimum, there are 2 cutscenes in the game that are used for some tricks. Notably, the Poe cutscene at the start of Forest Temple, the one where you walk into the main room of Forest and the Poes drop the elevator, as well as the Darunia cutscene at the start of Fire Temple. The Fire Temple one isn't useful for us. That can be used in Noam Realmwarp for a boss key skip. However, the Forest Temple cutscene with the Poes, that one is useful for us. We can use that to get to the basement faster. So, specifically without defeating all the Poes.
Gotcha. Also, we got a Nocturne already. Nice.
Ooh, Nocturne's a nice song to have. Good for mid. Oh. We got Sphere Temple Path to Hero, which is an interesting one. And then we have Haunted Wasteland Foolish. Thanks, game. Thanks for saving me that one check.
Very helpful.
10 out of 10.
That's almost like after you clearing out a whole location and the final hintstone's like, oh, by the way, this location's foolish.
Yep. Always feels good to have just cleared out a foolish location. Like, couldn't have told me that sooner, could you? Ooh, Water Temple Foolish, though. That one is nice to know. Water Temple is a medallion. But it is nice to know once you find the boss key, you don't need to do anything else there. So Azure
grab
looks
the
like
boss key and go kill Morva.
Yeah, and hopefully you have either long shot or hover boots. So Azure there you just saw did a Navi dive. So that's where you go on the very edge of the of like the stone thing, the thing on top, and then wait for Navi to pop up. When you jump slash, afterwards, Link takes a little step backwards. And if you call Navi during that jump slash maneuver, he takes a step back and then talks to Navi. And during that cutscene, he ignores water physics and just goes straight to the bottom. So it's a really easy way to exit the forest there pretty quickly.
There's no water in cutscenes.
Yeah, water is a figment of our imagination, and cutscenes just let us peer into the real world, where all our illusions are dispelled. Ooh, hover boots, nice.
I think there's also a hint for 50 dead on that stone in there.
I don't know what you're talking about. That was a hint for 50 having the Deku shield, which is clearly really important.
Right.
They're gonna need that for sure.
Is that magic? Yeah, it is.
That's magic.
It's got hover boots too, so you can get that.
Assuming, the... Ooh, fortunate there. Our ledge, just climb around. Assuming, the Octoroks want to leave you alone for 5 seconds.
If only he had a shield to reflect the bullets.
Right. Fortunately, shields have been patched out of the game.
So the shield puts the one in Deku in logic. Yes.
I think we had a hero's path for River, I think. But I think we only had the one, so it's lucky to end up with 2 items. I was aware of the hero. Yeah, it was Domain that had the path. And,
you definitely need at least one magic.
Well, we'll see, because it being Way of the Hero is interesting. Because Way of the Hero means that if you remove it, the seed is logically unbeatable. But because you only need 5 medallions, you can skip one of the medallions. So it tends to make the logic for the Way of the Hero a lot more powerful, but a lot trickier to figure out.
I'm like almost sure that magic is required.
Well, yeah, it would mean that the other magic is locked by that one. Since Shadow is a medallion, if something is in Deep Shadow, that would also put hovers as Way of the Hero. So that could be telling you that there's something in Deep Shadow, or it could be telling you that there's a magic lock magic. So there's lots of possibilities still. It's at this point they're kind of looping a bit. So where do you think is their best bet to go now, Soulblade?
Let's see. Child or adult Goron City would be good, probably. You can't stop the rolling Gorons, but you could still do a few of the checks there.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able, because I don't think we found any explosives at all, not even shoes. So you wouldn't be able to get to the back of the maze.
There actually isn't that much in Goron City without bombs or shoes.
Yeah. We might see one of them go to that Zora's Domain, because if they could do that, they do have Zelda's Lullaby. I don't think they logically have access yet, or as Child specifically, because they haven't found scale or explosives. But they would be able to get there just using that same Navi guide that we saw.
I mean, I'm always game for chicken, so there's that on the table.
There's chicken's on the table. We having chicken for supper?
Yeah.
What kind of chicken we had? Fried?
Baked, I think.
Baked chicken? Nah, that's still pretty good. My favorite sound effect in the entire game is Talon leaving there.
I like to get that sound effect on my hover boots.
That would be amazing as a hover boot sound. Every time you jump off a ledge. The
other good one for hover boots is the Link scream.
I've also heard one that was the Goron falling sound effect. That was also amazing. Also, Katie, I do approve of grilled as well for chicken. Also pretty good.
Grilled chicken is nice.
Grilled Kuko, though, it tends to be a little annoying because you try to grill them and then they summon all of their friends to murder you.
That just means more chicken.
More chicken. You just need a bigger grill. And yet, I do approve of the Mweep Boots. Mweep Boots is pretty good. Bark is also acceptable. I do like all of these options. We do see Nefe going through the Lost Woods. I don't think Azure went through this section, so this will be a bit interesting to see. It doesn't have explosives, so can't do a couple checks, and doesn't have slingshot, can't do one. But it's still
a memory game.
The Resident Sleeper minigame. So it is significantly improved from vanilla.
You mean you don't want to do 8 entire notes back to back?
I think you mean 5, 6, 7, and then 8. But yes, I don't want to do any of those. I think it starts at 5 for vanilla. It's way too many. It's way too many, whatever it is.
The fact that it also repeats twice.
Oh, 5, 6, 8, and it skipped 7? That's possible too.
I remember doing that. I'd have to get out a pen and a piece of paper to write it down because I couldn't remember the 8 notes.
I think Runner Guy, who's one of the people in this race, typically when he does that in bingo or whatnot, he'll actually type it in the chat.
Isn't it if you like mess it up, you have to start back at 5 notes, or is it start at 8 again?
I think it's you reset your current one you're on. I don't think it resets completely. You know, that would be really annoying and really evil. But yeah, I think it just resets the current one you're on.
Vanilla Sarius too. Come on, Rando.
Man. Are you sure you clicked the randomize button, Siberion? Did you accidentally just give them a vanilla ROM here?
I'm pretty sure it's somehow randomized.
Man.
Because hover boots were not in Shadow Temple.
Nah, I'm pretty sure that's where you find them in vanilla, right?
Yeah.
But songs were a few vanilla so far, that's correct.
Yeah, like other things I think have been a little bit off, but I'm pretty sure in vanilla you find the hover boots in the Ripper. That's how I did it, at least in vanilla.
Yeah, it's also where you find the magic.
Yeah. Yeah, just sitting on a ledge there. Of course. There is no incorrect information being given in this by Breeze here.
You don't believe me? Go boot up Legend of Zelda and play it yourself.
Yeah. Or maybe wait till after the restream. Or you keep it on the background. That's cool too.
Yeah. Just keep it on in the background and you'll see.
It's especially fun because you wouldn't ever really be able to confirm 100% that it's vanilla. Maybe just so far everything has been randomized to the correct location. Until, you get to a cutscene or something, and you'd be like, eh.
No, see, you give them a rando file, so that way the cutscenes are still removed, but everything is in the vanilla place.
Oh, perfect. I think there's a vanilla Randomizer, so there you go. Ooh, there you go. So Nefe is doing another version of the Forced Escape. This one is a little bit trickier, but a little bit faster too, because you don't have to wait for Navi. You just kind of position yourself correctly, and you can jump slash into that corner.
That's a reset.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you see, as you're going for that old trusty Navi dive, Navi dive is a quite easy glitch, and so if you have Navi available, it's really nice to do.
Yeah, you got that one pretty quick that time.
Yeah. If you don't have Navi available and you do really want to do that version, if you either die or reset, it will kind of reset the timer for Navi, and so she'll pop up quickly, things like 20 seconds after you enter the area. If you call Navi, and you don't do one of those two things, you have to wait 10 minutes for her to pop up again. So.
Dang.
Yeah. So these are just the qualifiers. So we haven't reached the bracket stage yet. This is currently 4th qualifier race of 8, so we have 4 more after this one. And since you need to join or you need to play in at least 3 qualifiers in order to be eligible for bracket stage. There's still time if you wanted to join in. You want to try it out, you're welcome to do so.
The Sun Song has a giant sword.
Okay. Giant sword is definitely pretty good. I don't know if you go out of your way for it though, but it's nice. So the DDR hint distribution is one that we've made specifically for these settings. And so I have it open here with the exact distribution it uses. It has 2 Way of the Hero hints. It has 3 Baron hints. It has 3 so-called opportunity hints, which we'll explain after. And then, because of our exact settings, there are also 7 always hints. Frogs 2, Big Goron, Song of Time, Skull Mask, 30, 40, 50 skulls. That might depend on what exact settings you use, though. And then whatever's extra is filled with sometimes hints. And so in our case, that ends up with 5 sometimes hints. All of these duplicate it.
Yeah, bigger on sword, not the giant's knife.
Yeah, the good one. The one that doesn't break instantaneously. Yeah, so those opportunity hints that I mentioned, if you're looking, I think we might have found them all, but we'll see if they find any more. They pop up on green, and those are kind of indicating there's a predefined list of items, which includes cover boots, hook shotguns, fire, bomb bag, boomerang, bow, megaton hammer, iron boots, magic meter, mirror shield, fire arrows, or strength. And it's simply saying one of those items that I just mentioned is in that area. Axe, who's one member of the community, Axiani, she kind of has a good way of thinking it that I like to. That's a pretty good way of explaining it. You can think of it, the Hero's Path, as effectively saying these locations aren't full. Is kind of a decent way of thinking about it. It's like a guarantee to that.
Just want to point out how rude that Zora was. He did his diving minigame and he froze you in a block of ice.
Very rude. Like, you did too well. I must murder you. Yeah, so it's on King Zora. We don't know what it is, but it's on King Zora. Because shoes are not on that list, though they are nice to find.
Guess we'll figure it out if we ever find the letter. Good day and pay setup.
They still, though, even though that's not the Hero's Path, you're definitely not upset at finding shoes, especially before you find a bomb bag. It being 10 shoes is also decent. Kind of sucks to find a 5 when you're like, how much do I really want to save scum these?
was Fire Dancer? I didn't read the rest of it.
Fire Dancer had a magic meter. So if that's a magic lock magic, that's some... We're going to see some interesting stuff here.
Big.
So there are skips that you can do with glitches. However, there are some limitations. You can basically do... you can think of it as you can do basically any glitch. Other than there's a list of about 5 of them that are globally banned. This includes item manipulation, realm warp, and bomb hovering. But there are some exceptions as well to just the general glitch rules. You can't use the glitches to access a dungeon or to clip into a dungeon, and you can't use any glitches to clip into the boss room of a dungeon.
Danpei had buried Rudo's letter. Weird.
Man, dude, rude. There is a child in danger, and Danpei's like, I can dump this down here. She doesn't need help, it's fine.
Some dumb kid will come along and pay me to dig it up.
Yeah. I'll only allow this child to be saved if they pay me money. Basically ransoming a child.
Danpei is the true villain.
Confirm.
That's a nice pink magic meter.
So King Zora skip is allowed. It does lead to dungeons, but that's kind of... It's allowing you to the area before the dungeons. So, like, you're not clipping into Jabu itself, nor are you clipping into Ice Cavern. So those are allowed. That's, like, kind of... It's accessing the area before it kind of thing, so you're good there.
Unfortunately, you're going to be wasting some time if you leap skip, because you found the letter.
Yeah, as child, it would you might as well show the letter. As adult, I don't even know if it's faster to show to go back to child and show the letter. Clipping is just so fast as adult and easy. It is the easiest clip in the game. Literally, all you have to do is target a wall and then jump slash at a corner.
Oh no, it sounds very hard.
Yeah. It's definitely one that you know, if you're looking to just have fun with some glitches in the game, it's a good one to learn, because I think there is one that there's an adult King Zora skip that's allowed in standard, but the one in DDR is significantly easier. Yeah, Asder on the right side, I guess for you guys, is currently doing the objectively best way to enter Bottom of the Well. So you get ISG and you pick up a chicken, and so now you're attacking the chicken continuously every single frame. So the second you let go of it, it's going to get mad at you. So you take that chicken that you're currently angering, bring it to the side of the well, and as you drop it, you backflip into the water. And that cutscene of the cuckoos getting mad at you allows you to just go straight through the water.
I did like the red trail behind it while you were carrying it.
Oh yes, the grilling the chicken, you know? It's actually just the damage tick, but you know, it's basically grilling a chicken. Big bow. That's an interesting one.
That's a free check.
Yeah, we take that. Well, yeah, of course the big bows are dead. They're spirits. They're ghosts. So yeah, of course they're dead. How do you think they fit in the bottle, Siberian? Come on.
You might need that heart piece. You don't know.
Yeah, you more or less
forgot to tell everyone that you needed 20 hearts to beat the seed.
Whoops. I mean, we don't know what Siberian won. Cork is correct. That you might kind of want it just for the bottle, to be honest.
Bottles are quite powerful.
It is always annoying to go and only have Jabu left, and be in go mode, and then realize you don't have a bottle. Since you do, one of the dungeon door requirement for Jabu is that you need to give Jabu a fish in order to get in, since that's the kind of cutscene of how you're supposed to get into Jabu. And so, yeah, if you don't have a bottle, you can't get into Jabu. Lands, oh boy.
Now you can logically do the chess game.
Yeah. On behalf of Axe. Kitties. Two bottles in here, man.
What is this? The bottom of the bottle?
Bottom of the bottle. Exactly. Which sounds like the lowest point in Link's Life, to be fair.
Yeah, what is this game trying to tell us? It gave us double Ds and then a bottle of milk.
Man, this is a lot more loot than I was thinking. Man, you're right. Ooh.
Oh,
that
shield.
Snipe is very rude from that Geese. Ooh, so it looks like Nefe might be going for QPA here. So see, or might have just given up. If you use a cutscene item, and then put away your Deku, as you put away a Deku stick, it gives, and then break the Deku stick specifically. It gives a glitch damage value that includes a bunch of weird stuff in it. The notable thing it puts there is dims fire, and so you're able to use that in order to light torches. So that means as a child you're able to have a fire source quite easily in this game. Or by quite easily, I mean with few item requirements. Yeah, that's also possible. People just throw all their bottles in the well. Pollute.
Why not? They already bury dead people down there.
I mean, that is fair. You know, as far as things go, pollution, murder, I'm pretty sure one of them is worse than the other. Now, realistically, if you had a well that was filled with this many dead bodies and monsters, people would be getting sick left and right.
Nah. Nothing bad ever happens from wells that are polluted.
Nah, it's fine, right?
Definitely not the premise of a few zombie apocalypse movies.
Also, you're saying that's why you end up with all of the with all of the Gyptos in market? That explains everything. Or
Yeah,
Redead,
probably.
technically.
They all
Yeah,
crawled
maybe-
out of the bottom of the well.
Maybe that's actually why it's called Death Mountain, is because of all of the dead bodies, all of the downstream pollution from the polluted well. We've really figured out how Legend of Zelda works.
How does the well go downstream to a mountain?
It's underground something or other, like whatever the source is for this well. Maybe it's in the mountains. We don't know. So now's probably a good time to mention, because they need to do 5 medallions, they need to have some items in order to get to beat the dungeons. Here they need to complete 5 of Water, Shadow, Jabu, Forest, Fire, or Spirit. So for Water Temple, that's one you're doing, you need either Long Shot or Hover Boots in order to get to the boss. In order to get in, you also need Hook Shot. Once you're inside, you might not need Hook Shot, but it depends where things are. For Shadow Temple, in order to get in, you need as adult at least, you need a fire source, as well as you need basically that's it. Inside, you don't really need Hook Shot. You do need some way to cross the gap. That either includes explosives or Hook Shot. They're not that big a deal. For Jabu, as we're mentioning, you need a bottle to enter, as well as Boomerang to beat it. For Forest Temple, you need Hook Shot in order to enter, and then once you're inside, you might need Bow, but it just depends where the boss key is. In general, there's under the best circumstances, you don't need anything inside Forest. For Spirit Temple, you don't need anything to enter, but in order to beat it, you do require Mirror Shield.
That darn shield that can only reflect light.
At least in this game. It's better in Majora's Mask. They figured out more for it. So I don't know if they put a door between the water and the dead bodies, because it's just completely open as child. Like, bottom of the well is just completely open. They put a rock there as adult. Does that count? Yeah, that's why I mentioned as adult. As child, you don't need a fire source to enter Shadow. You do need Nocturne in order to get up there, which they already have. And then once you're inside, you need to 1, be insane. And 2, you need to then do a series of mega flips, so you need explosives. If you have strength, it tends to be a little bit easier. And you also, at the end, need to do a cutscene skip so the game doesn't crash. So it's pretty rare to have all of those requirements met at the same time.
We got Neffy up in Ganon's castle.
Ooh, nice. So yeah, child in the vanilla game, if you open the door as adult, it's still closed as child, and the reverse is also true for some reason, even though that's not how time works. So if you open it as child, it's not open as adult. But you can open the door as child. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. They just expected you to get stuck and not be able to do anything because the first room requires either hover boots or hook shot. But in DDR we don't actually need this.
Nothing in the validation box.
Feels bad, man. So I didn't see if Nefe cleared the rest of the trials.
No, he just went straight for the box first.
So fire error entry actually is allowed for Java Temple. So as adult, you can either use Din's Fire or fire error entry. As child, you can use QPA or obviously Din's Fire.
See if we're gonna get anything good in here.
At this point, their items are still a little bit like on the lighter side. They do have hover bits, which you like, but they don't have explosives or hook shot or bow. So they're not able to do a whole lot yet.
Too bad Nefe didn't pick up another.
There are those bombs. So QPA, or quick put away, it's a trick where you interrupt the put away animation for deku sticks. To usually use cutscene item for that. You do it 1 frame after you put away the deku stick. And then when you do break the stick, that gives a glitch damage value that allows you to have allows you to light torches. Is one of the effects that's on it. So it's pretty nice as child. Oh, you can make that. Interesting.
Yeah, those are technically Sphere 0 bombs, because you started with a stone.
Yeah, that's... I mean, technically, I think they're Sphere 1 in the playthrough because they qualify picking up Master Sword as an item. But,
Fair.
I mean, they're basically Sphere 0, let's be real. So Nefe's doing a super slide method to get to the light trials. Ooh, and actually it just went too far. There you go. And I can just turn around and open it. There are different methods you can use for that. There are flips that require bombs. As you saw there with the super slide. It's also, I think, just one. The more common method if you don't have explosives is you can either enter and exit the spirit trial repeatedly, or you can enter and exit the little alcove where you have the where there are the 3 scrubs there, and that causes the light beams that are in the main room to duplicate. And eventually, as it's duplicating those light beams, it runs out of memory and it deletes the big rock that's in front of light trial. You can just walk in.
Gave him a wallet and then a bunch of rupees for it.
Next. So PGY, this is a DDR randomizer. So DDR, it's a glitched rule set that's kind of between no standard and no bomb work. So it bans the most powerful glitches in the game while allowing more of the quality of life stuff. Their goal at the end is to beat Ganon. In order to do that, they're going to need to find 1 stone, which they started out with. That gives them access to Ganon's castle. And then they need 5 medallions in order to get the Ganon's boss key from the light arrow cutscene. So that's their end goal.
Well, you at least got one good thing out of Ganon's castle.
You don't say no to bombs, so that's quite nice.
$200 rupees isn't that bad either.
Yeah, it's fine. It doesn't unlock too much for you, but you never say no to extra money. Yeah, for the first medallion, we'll see what they end up going for. At this point, they don't really have the ability to do really any of them.
Yeah.
At least logically, at this point, I don't think. They could do fire. Logically, they gotta at least get in because they have hoverboards. And we found logical bombs. But in order to access Forest Temple, they need to find Hope Shot, which no one has found yet.
G game. Thanks.
Thanks, game.
Precary Force that's foolish. Oh no.
Yep, so mega flips are allowed. Mega flips, mega side hops. Most things that have mega in the name really are allowed. Yeah, the kind of bonking that tree was actually for luck. It sets the RNG for the next item that Azure picks up is going to be the hook shot. If it ends up being hook shot, I'm going to laugh so hard. That one too.
I'm surprised that people in this world aren't more traumatized by Link just forcing the time to go day and night repeatedly.
Maybe he's just standing really still for like 10 hours. Bringing along the doggo. Feels bad, man. Had to
Doggo
doggo
got locked out. Quick, get your guesses in chat. You already
Sure
won
will.
off.
I'm personally still going for a hook shot as that reward. And I'm gonna go top all right.
You've already failed.
Man. 0 out of 10. So
Just
sorry,
alternating.
Soulblade. Sorry, Soulblade. Chickens are dead.
Oh man.
Aww. It is
So
not
is
hook
this-
shot,
Chess game.
man. Sorry, I guess Azure messed up the RNG manipulation there. So it has to go back and bonk a couple trees. Yeah, it's especially rude where he played Sunsong there, because I'm pretty sure it was just directly in front of the door. And so the people like inside are trapped. They just can't leave because Link's just staring there blank-eyed for 12 hours.
I guess today's an inside day.
To be real, all days are inside days now. Feels bad, man. Minor details, BJY. The power of Sunsong overcomes that limitation.
It just teleports them outside of the town, and suddenly it's a different time of day.
To be fair, though, the bomb shop lady doesn't sleep anyway, regardless. So for her, she doesn't care.
No, instead she just naps on the job and gets woken up.
To be fair, she's expected to be there day and night, so it is reasonable for her to be sleeping there. Yeah, at this point, as to where things actually are, we are kind of still lacking a lot of items, and we've done a lot of the easy checks already. So, like, at this point, they could access Fire Temple, they can access DC.
You have some bottles, you could go do Ice Cavern.
Yeah, you could do Ice Cavern. We do have Zelda's Lullaby to have logical access. I don't know if anyone wants to do that, but they could.
It's another song check, at least.
Oh, and sure, King's Aura item. We do know that that's a path, I think, as opposed to a way of the hero, so might be worthwhile.
And Asder does have 2 bottles to use. A Pona song in a volcano. What is this? That's
Yeah, it's
not
vanilla.
a warp song.
Yeah, isn't that what you're supposed to get there?
I thought that was supposed to be the storms.
Oh, true. You're right. This is randomized, because I think in vanilla you get storms there. We'll see if Azure ends up going to Fire Temple from here, or just opting to do the creator stuff. Usually, you kind of don't want to do Fire. One, because you don't have the hammer, and 2, because Fire sucks. Just in my opinion, Fire is the worst dungeon. I don't know what Soulblade, if you agree, or if people in chat agree, but my opinion, Fire is the worst.
Nah, I'm all in on Forest Temple being the worst.
In vanilla, or like glitchless, I would agree. But there's a lot you can do in Forest Temple in like DDR with glitches. Whereas in Fire Temple, there's not that much. It's too linear. Personally, I'm a fan of. I like Shadow Temple and Spirit Temple. Spirit, I think, is my favorite, and then I like Shadow.
Spirit is pretty nice. Oh, hey,
Ooh,
look
Mirror
at that.
Shield.
And
That
Asder
is-
does have a lens to technically be able to get across the wasteland.
And a bonus song to get over the bridge.
Yeah, so Spirit Temple might be a play.
Or Child's. Well, it depends what the song ends up being there, because by logic, you don't have the gauntlets yet, so there isn't too much you're expected to be able to do. But we'll see.
There's a fairy and a song check.
Yeah, fairy, a song check, and depending if Requiem's vanilla, you might be expected to do Child.
And on your way out there, GTG is Path of the Hero, so you could pit stop there.
Warring. So that's the nice thing for Shadow for DDR. One of the major glitches in Shadow Temple that you can do, if you remember just past the gap at the start, you go to the left in the Sight Room, there's that gate. When you jump down, there's like that gate that's a shortcut back. In DDR, you can just clip through there. Basically every DDR player has their own setup that they use for that. But yeah, you can clip into there and then theoretically go straight to the boss. So it can be pretty fast in DDR. It depends where the boss key is.
I don't know if I agree with this play by Neffy. He has no bottles.
Has one apparently, but you know,
Though
might
that
just be going
bottle
for
is
this.
full of Rudo's letter. Still, I think.
Yeah, it hasn't activated yet. That's true. Seriously, interesting thing Neffy is doing. If you load Skinzor in a particular way, it doesn't load the red ice correctly, and so when you leave and come back, boom, you get
Hey, look
fire
at that.
arrow.
Fire arrows. Still looks like he might be going to Ice Cavern though. I'm not sure about that.
Or did we get something for Fountain? Didn't we get Wave the Hero? Oh no, it was Domain we got. Domain and then Wave the Hero for River.
Might just be going for hints in the fountain, yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. You can also get through all of the Ice Cavern without bottles, using a series of glitches. So Neffe's an experienced bingo player, so there's a decent chance that Neffe knows how to do that.
Well, I hope so. Because he's here.
Yeah, might as well.
Also got Asder heading that way.
Probably also going for that same path of the hero, or not. So here you get to see another version of the super easy clip. Literally just
Very
target
nice.
a wall, and you're good. Wait, the fire arrows were path. I'm pretty sure, at least. I can double check, because we have a command for that. Here was path.
Hey, strength 1 off of the domain fountain.
Pretty good. Strength 1 is decent to have. Can save you some time. Okay.
Don't you need at least minimum strength 1?
In DDR, not really. There are rare circumstances that you might need Strength 1, but usually you can get around every single strength requirement in the game in DDR. But it can happen in rare circumstances that you do need the strength.
It's good to have it, just in case.
Yeah, and as Siberian was mentioning, the hero's path hints don't have any logic to them. So it's just telling you there's an item there. It could be a self-locked item. You can have a bow-locked bow, and the hero's path doesn't care. It's also not telling you that it's necessarily required to beat the game. It's just there.
Fire arrows still have some use.
Yeah, they're nice to have for like even Spirit Temple. If you go to child side as adult, it's nice to just be able to light those torches and not worry about it.
It's Is it slightly faster than... It's probably slightly faster than Den's fire cutscene.
Yeah, I think you have both. I think it would depend how many you're lighting. But for most circumstances, I think it is faster.
Milk just chugging.
Rip milk.
Oh, he's gonna chug the
Ooh.
po too.
You can't chug a big po though.
Oh, he just overrode it with
You
fire.
duped over it.
That poor big po, he got lit on fire.
Crying Goron. Yeah, we did talk to Link of the Gorons. It doesn't talk as long in this game, or in Rando, so, you know, it's acceptable.
Wow.
It's not like a vanilla where he talks for 35 hours.
I think this is the first race I've commentated that I've seen somebody actually buy a tunic.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got the Giant's wallet, so, you know, spend that money.
Yeah. Why not? And to be honest, for a lot of times you might just want it just to see what color it is.
True, if you got your colors customized.
Yeah.
Which it
But,
looks like Neffy does.
That definitely does. Azure, it looks like, does not. Oh, and actually, the mirror shield is. So
Yeah,
it might have some.
Some of them seem to be changed.
Also, I think that green isn't quite the same green as, like, vanilla. It looks a little lighter.
I don't know my shades of green well enough.
I would just say that they're espresso and then leave it at that.
Oh, they're linked to the past colors. Gotcha.
Oh, so that's the color of the mirror shield in A Link to the Past. There's a meal shield there, but I don't know. I think it's red.
You can't really see it too good in Link to the Past.
No, I think the best time you see it is when you pull it up.
Oh, he's talking about the tunic.
Oh, the tunic, yeah. Ooh, iron bits
Oh, hey.
in the back of the maze. So, where you wanted to go earlier, Soulblade. Turns out that was a decent choice.
Yeah. Just need those bombs and you got some boots now. And then
We'll
you
see.
could also hover to the chests that's hammerlocked.
Yeah, so we'll see. Either can go for the hover boot strat where you just backflip over them. You can also super slide or hest through them. But just the opting to just say, I'll pass. Right, I was like, it's weird to see Azure go and doing this block puzzle. I don't think Azure has gone to Ganon's castle yet, so they don't have their bombs.
Yeah, he doesn't have bombs.
Also, these shoes are out for blood.
He's...
Yes, keys are out for blood.
I still find it weird that fire keys lose their fire when they hit you, but the ice keys don't lose their fire.
Are you expecting logic and consistency from OOT? Because that
Yes.
seems like a bad choice.
Come on,
My guess-
Miyamoto. What's wrong with you?
My guess is that because for fire keys, typically the ones that are on fire, they've got like a torch nearby in order to like relight themselves afterwards, but they don't always do that for the ice ones. So that's my guess.
I think the developers just got lazy.
Also possible.
They had to cut some corners. I mean, they cut an entire temple out of the game.
Yeah. We still got a bunch of dungeons though, so I don't think we can complain too much. But you know. Oh, cool. So Azure is going for a recoil here. So on a certain frame of recoil from either Big Goron sword or a hammer or even like the regular sword, there's one frame that you get a lot of backward speed, and if you equip hover boots on that frame, you preserve that speed a lot better. And that speed allows you to clip through a lot of things in the game. Like that.
Hey.
Time for the hardest mini-boss in the entire game. I don't know how Azur's going to do it. Only, like, what, 8 hearts and double defense? Basically impossible.
It's going to be a close fight. Oh, dang.
Okay, he's good. Impressive. Just clap right there. Just...
Wow.
Thanks for
Bottles
the other
everywhere.
And there's that Requiem, so...
No, that's Spirit Temple access. For both child and adult.
This is the kind of seed you'd want in bingo with the all 4 bottle slots tool.
Always nice to have bottle percent.
Bottle percent. Meanwhile, we do see on Nefe's side going for that DC dip, which we're also expecting earlier. I don't think they found much in there, though, so...
Nothing yet. Probably not too worried about his bomb count because he did pick up the strength 1.
Yeah, which will save a little bit, so that is nice to find. For just these kind of circumstances.
And then Azur's about to get his strength.
Here we go.
You never know. You might need Song of Storms, you might not need it.
Here, we got a Foolish for Kokiri Forest, so it shouldn't be needed for that one.
I mean, it's a case of, do you really want to do AD for 1 check?
Yeah, you definitely don't want to. It could also logically be required for Bottom of the Well. You know, I think that's where Azure found about 700 bottles.
Yeah, you know, you never know. Just rolling through King's Aura.
Yeah. That one's always funny just because, like, the reason you go through him is his collision just disappears when you put for like a little bit when you dump the blue fire on. So it's just funny. You just walk straight through him. There's also good planning on Azur's part because if you unfreeze King's Aura using the glitch that we showed earlier, where like you go down the stairs and go back up in a particular way, you aren't able to do that clip that you just did to get through King's Aura, and so you're stuck on the other side. So that was good rounding on his part.
Interesting. Song of Time.
So yeah, so Warren, for the reason for that is because DDR uses the definition for dungeon that's used basically all for most other categories of OOT stuff that isn't randomizer. So like for instance, if you consider the all dungeons category, it only considers dungeons things that have a blue warp in them or at the end of them. So Ice Cavern doesn't count, GDG doesn't count, and Bottom of the Well don't count.
Interesting. As they just got the hint for Way of the Hero inside Ganon's. Probably for that bomb bag.
Yeah, could be for that bomb bag. It could be a bomb lock bombs.
I think it was because I think Neffy just got another bomb bag out of the Dongas.
Yeah, that one's bomb lock. So we'll have to see if the last one is also bomb lock. And more cheese. Good dog. We just gave you some bombs, but do you want more chews too?
More explosives.
All the explosives. It'll be interesting to see where Nefe goes from here. We still don't have that hook shot, and hook shot is definitely going to be required for this seed, since you need it in order to enter Forest Temple, and you need it to enter Water Temple. So, bare minimum, there are 2 dungeons that need hook shot, so it is going to be hard required for this seed. Now,
Is there not a way to get up to the temple without the hook shot?
Not in DDR. In knowing Rumbert, you can bomb hover, but there, at least to our knowledge, yet there is no DDR allowed method of getting to Forest Temple without hookshot. If you could find one, that would be cool, though. Thanks. If someone wants to work on that. Hookshot and DMT Storm Daughter would be kind of amazing.
It'd be funny. And Nefi could do that if he wanted, because he does have the 3 stones.
I think we're all kind of hoping that Nefe checks that, because that would be awesome and hilarious. Interesting. Azure is kind of dipping out from here. I don't think they checked Light Draw, so my guess is they might either don't want to do that yet, because that is very, very far out of logic. And just kind of banking on that wave of hero being the bomb egg.
I think he thought of it for a second, because he didn't warp the first time he played the song. He's like, eh.
He's debating it.
You can always just come back later. The bombs are a good grab.
The nice thing for Ganon's castle is just save warp away. Yeah, so this is the other cutscene we're mentioning for enable useful cutscene. You can use it in No I Am Wrong. We don't really care about it in DDR, but it's pretty fast anyway, so it's worth it to have the forest cutscene. Actually talking to a Goron.
Well, since Nefi appears to only have 1 bottle, no, he has not gone to the bottom of the well.
To the bottles of the well, as Siberian put it.
Yes. Also, mark it off if you're doing a bingo. We saved the Goron.
Funnily enough, you don't actually have to talk to them for them to figure out how to escape, which is good, because, you know, you'd hope that a completely open door they'd figure out to just walk out without you telling them.
Nah, if you don't talk to them, they just stay in there forever.
They're like, oh, I'm not supposed to leave? Well, okay, then.
So I'll just stay here for the rest of my life.
You left the door unlocked. Let me reclose that for you.
We about to get double Fire Temple.
Fire Temple isn't as bad in this, since we know that at the end we don't have to do like I think it was a flare dancer way at the top as the other magic meter, so we don't need to go that far. We won't be able to check Pierre, but you know, at the very least be able to do some of the most of the checks in here.
Yes, ice arrows.
Perfect. Full memes.
A slingshot in the DMT grotto. Or, not grotto. Fairy fountain. DMC. So what is that? One check for the slingshot?
Yeah, it's logical access to Goma. Not that anyone cares, since they've probably long since done that check. But now you logically have access to it, so yay.
Yeah.
I guess technically you don't logically have access because that was double magic, and so we need Hammer in order to logically have that.
Yeah, that was behind the boulders. Oh, you threw the bomb too early. Rip.
Getting this
There goes
one is
Link
like
sliding across the field. Whee!
so we actually saw him do their super slide into an ESS. So super slide is a technique where you drop usually 2 bombs, you roll into it at a certain time. I think it's like 4 frames that you have. So and then hold shield, and that causes you to move backwards in a straight line at high speed. I think that was a recovery heart down there. Then after that, what you can do is if you hold ESS position, so just off from neutral, and then let go of shield, you'll preserve most of that speed, and so you'll still be a little bit faster than backwalking.
Whee!
And that lets you turn around if you happen to not need to go directly in a straight line. I'll see. We're still looking for that hook shot. Other than hook shot, do we need anything else? Yeah. So we'll need still need to find hammer to beat Fire Temple or Rang to beat Jabu. And that's in addition to definitely needing hook shot. And obviously both.
Could be in GTG, one of those.
Which, speaking of which, might be what Nefe is going to check. Oh, did that get the hover slide? We'll see. No. So, yeah, so there are a ton of ways to cross the bridge. Obviously, you're intended to use either long shot or a bonus. But what you can do in DDR is you can also do this particular method, which is a hover slide. You do the super slide that we saw earlier, and then just put on hover boots. The speed you get is enough to cross some pretty big gaps, including the bridge.
We need the dumb horse when you could just bomb yourself across the gap.
Yeah. If they had hookshot, you can also get across with just hookshot. So, like, who needs horses? Horses overrated. Swamp intensifies.
The Gerudo guards trolling them.
Yeah, logically you need long shot, but in DDR you can just use hook shot. Make it. And I think
Just
Polar
trying
Bear,
to-
you mean she heard you.
Got her.
Yeah, I'll just leave now. I'll be back. Actually, I won't. I don't think they want me back. Funnily enough, they're both kind of in a similar area. Azur's going for that child spirit temple, which is not something you see super duper often in DDR. While Nefe is rescuing more. What are you doing, Nefe?
Nefe's exploring.
Exploring. Honestly, not entirely sure. I would have thought going to GTG. Oh, it's maybe just following the path to get to that item up top.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my guess.
Maybe not entirely familiar with the jump to get up there.
It is fair. The jump to do that, you don't have to do that too often in something like Bingo. It comes up often enough in Randomizer. Wow, that's rude, game. Rude.
That box was ice cold.
Nice. You mean cold shoulder?
4 out of 6 ice traps found, huh? Is that a secret hint as to how the race is over? Is when somebody finds all 6?
Yeah, that's a real victory. It's finding all the ice traps. One interesting thing for this GTG is there's still a number of locations they can't actually check yet. So we hope that they find something really good in some of these earlier locations.
Reminds me of the meme, guy looking away and then pointing at the other text. Like, nah. Skeleton murder! Yes.
Or attempted skeleton murder. Skeleton is not cooperating. Apparently the skeleton, for some reason, doesn't want to die again. Oh, close. Oh, well, I mean, you got
later.
that. You can also use a chew if you've got them. Chew's decently easy to do. You can just like go up to the wall. But bombs, you have to actually time it.
Does Asder still have his chews? I see him marked on the tracker.
I don't know if he's got any left.
Oh, there you go. Just bomb yourself across.
Yeah, just do a mega flip. That was a really nice mega flip too.
Needs bomb chews when you have mega flips.
Yeah. So if you are learning how to do mega flips, and you're on a console that can pause buffer consistently, so it's a little tougher to do on emulator. But if you're on VC or if you're on EverDrive, it's really easy there are very nice consistent cues you can use to mega flip as with chews, so that can be a lot easier to learn. Like if you look online, there are like easy cues to know when to drop the chew, when to roll, and when to backflip. So.
There's a small key in child side.
Small key in child side, so I think that means logically you need Requiem in order to beat this.
And then poor young Link got kidnapped by the giant hand.
AKA child trauma.
Also, you might need the bow, because the boss key in Force Temple could not be downstairs.
Yeah, there are quite a number of checks in Forest Temple that need the bow, so it's very possible that the boss key is behind one of those. We also still need the bow in order to beat Ganondorf. So regardless, you're going to need that to beat the game.
Yeah, I guess you need the bow to kill Ganon.
So
are you telling me you can't just throw the light arrows at him?
Honestly, you kind of should be able to, because let's be real, it's not really the arrow part that makes the difference. It's the light part that's making the difference.
That'd be a really good way to get Ganon. Because he's all smug that you can't kill him, and then you just throw the arrow at him.
It would be kind of hilarious, not gonna lie.
The slingshot would probably shatter if Adult Link tried to use it, but one-time use, you just load the arrow in the slingshot and use that.
Yeah, just get the one cycle and you're good.
Speaking of Sleepy Girl.
Oh, cool. Checking out the 2-minute game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Don't bomb her.
Everyone bombing her. It's so rude. It's not her fault. She doesn't control the items. She's not management here. Don't be mean to your retail workers. They don't control things, people.
Or is she?
She.
I guess we'll never know, because Link just bombs her.
Yeah, it just explodes her.
Who's the real villain of this story?
It's clearly Link. Doesn't allow people to sleep. Explodes random people. For things that aren't their fault. I mean, clearly. True villain. The joy of trying to backwalk across Colossus area. With all the levers being like, you sure about that?
Are you sure you want to go this way, buddy?
Alright, don't even get us started on the menace that Link is to all clay pots and all potters? Is that the name for people who make pottery? Harry Potter.
I have
All
no
Harry
idea.
Potter.
I was gonna say Mason, but those are the guys that make brickwork.
Yeah, they do brickwork. Oh, interesting. So Asder is doing. There are several ways you can get past this strength 2 block as adult. Seems to be going for the one where you climb up on top of this statue, and then use the hover bits to kind of grab the top of the block. So dungeon door requirement. It's the rule set that is used here. So it's a glitch rule set that's designed between standard and Nora and Rumwarp. The dungeon door part of the name in reference to 2 of the major glitches, or 2 of the major restrictions that apply to the glitches you can do. The first one is that you can't use glitches in order to access, or in order to clip into a dungeon. So you have to get into dungeons more or less the intended way. And the second thing is that you have to get into boss rooms by standing in front of the boss door and pressing A. So you can't do any boss key skips or anything like that.
I went and looked it up real quick. It is indeed a Potter.
Perfect. So yes, Link is a menace to all of the Potters in existence, regardless if they're Harry Potter or any other kind. We're still hoping that someone does DDR on a dance pad. We don't know anyone that's done it yet.
Aren't there too many buttons for OOT for a dance pad?
It depends how you do it, I guess. And it depends how many of the buttons you feel like you really need.
Well, you need it. I know you need at least 4 for your C buttons and your sword swing.
You could just have one C button that they only ever use. So you'd only need one C button, B button, A button.
Aiming with the DDR pad seems like it'd be interesting.
That'd be fun. You think NA aim is bad? Try DDR dance pad aim. And so far, interestingly, we did have, I think it was a Way of the Hero. I think we had something for Spirit, and I believe it was a Way of the Hero. No, it was a Hero's Path. So there's something that's in here. And how
There's
much
an item in here, can confirm.
There's a good way to think of the Hero's Path is not foolish, and so we don't know what it is, but give me something.
It's here somewhere.
That would
might
be it. There's a decent chance that would be it. Since it doesn't follow logic, we have absolutely no way to confirm whether or not that's actually the item if we find multiples. But
Still a good item to find.
we don't say no to that. That is one of the items that, for a dungeon, we need to clear. So, at this point, if they're a hook shot away from being able to finish. It is kind of bad to not have a hook shot because it limits you a lot. But the one nice thing is that it also limits logically what you can be expected to go search for. So we know already if we're looking for hook shot, we are not going to find the logical first hook shot in Water Temple or Forest Temple. So you're basically, well, at this point, Nefe is guaranteed to be able to go through those in go mode.
Might be that recovery heart, actually.
Yeah, it could be that recovery heart, the path hint. Or that heart container, even better. True. We also need to a bow still. So we do still need to find that bow somewhere. We don't have the light arrows, but thankfully Ganondorf, being a big dummy, will tell us where those light arrows are. Pro tip, if you're a villain, don't tell the hero where to find your weakness. I'm just saying, should be villain 101 here.
But how are you supposed to be cocky if you don't reveal that information?
I mean, personally, I'd rather be, like, you know, alive than cocky, but I mean, you do you, man. There's that bow, so, yeah, we don't need to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, we're gonna slide across to the other hand.
So they can't. The bow can't be on Link's cow. The settings we have don't use cow sanity, so that can't happen. It could be a logical all dungeons, particular for one location, but we kind of hope some part of us hopes that does happen, and another part of us hopes it doesn't. You know.
Very nice.
That is true. Ganondorf's like, haha, you didn't get the light. Wait, where'd he go?
No, see, it's a game about time travel, so he tells you where they're at, but then you time travel back to before you met him and get them.
This does make sense canonically too. Anytime you die, it's actually just you go back in time to before you die and prevent the thing that killed you. Also, pro tip: if you're doing this wall that Azure is on currently, apparently if you hold Z, it changes Link's hitbox and it makes it easier to climb. Apparently.
Well, depending on which rule set you're using, I think some rule sets you don't even get to see Ganon until you have everything, so the hint doesn't really help you. The hint is there for reasons? I don't know. Can you even get that hint in a vanilla game?
Well, in vanilla game, he doesn't tell you where light arrows are. But, you know. You can't get to that location in... Okay. You're not supposed to be able to get that location without light arrows.
Oh yeah, I guess because in vanilla you'd have to do all the trials, which need light arrows.
I think it's intended that, like, the bridge is triggered by the light arrow cutscene. Like, that's what I think you need, light arrow cutscene, and then the bridge will open. So in vanilla, you should always have light arrows by that point already.
You just get them when you get the final medallion, I'm pretty sure. That's why it's called the light arrow cutscene.
Yeah.
You can't miss them.
Another interesting thing to note for Spirit Temple is that we also found a quiver or bow in here, so that could also be the path of hero. We have no way to know how.
Did Asder miss that one? I don't see it marked for him.
I don't see it marked for him, so he might have skipped it because that's the one you need to hit the crystal. And so Neppy actually used the chew to hit that, and I don't think Asder had any chews left.
Gotcha.
You can hit that with a bomb, I'm pretty sure, but it's a little bit tough for timing, so might just opt to save.
Unfortunate for Asder.
That is definitely unfortunate for Asder. We kind of hope he runs into another one later.
Might come down to last location in that if he doesn't get another bow.
Yeah. Which we hope that it isn't, that bow isn't blocking other bows.
Actually might be going back for it.
Or doing some of the child side ones, because I think he actually just did the first check as child and then came back around as adult for the rest. There's that boss game. And there's the hook shot. Oh, Spirit Temple is loaded.
It had 3 items we needed, dang.
That's a very nice path of the hero to get. So yeah, so as I was mentioning, that all of that bonking that he did an hour ago was to RNG manip that hookshot. That was the very next check, as I was saying.
Now where is he going? He had everything required to beat the dungeon and warped out of there.
Yeah, opting not to do Spirit, which is interesting when you have the boss key in Spirit.
Might just be taking the hook shot to somewhere. Water temple, maybe?
I'm not sure if they just had the medallions written down wrong or something. Cause not sure why you wouldn't just beat Spirit now. If it's a medallion, you need 5 of them. You're only skipping 1. Spirit is a pretty slow dungeon, but at that point you've cleared most of it.
Yeah, all that was left was like 1 or 2 checks in the boss.
Yeah, and the boss. The boss does take a decent amount of time, but it's probably not as bad as hoping to find like Boomerang or something.
Sometimes a lot more time. It depends how troll they want to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes they misbehave awfully bad and it just takes forever.
Oh, also, if you're in chat and just in case you don't know, for that wall that's really annoying, if you have long shot, you can just long shot straight to the top. If you have hook shot, you can like hook shot halfway up, so it saves you half the time, but you still have to climb the second half.
Oh, I think he's going to finish off GTG, maybe.
I don't know why though. Why would you finish GTG before finishing the dungeon here?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But he's
I
heading that way with Epona, so that might be it.
I think Nefe is just realizing that doesn't have a hook shot for that last gap. Was going through really nicely, and then the pause at the end, I've done many times myself, going, right.
Well, good for him. If he stays here, he'll find one.
Yeah, if you go check the child side, do it. Check the child side.
Maybe he wrote his medallions down wrong. He bailed out hard.
That's my guess as to maybe why. Oh, is Nefe opening up the shortcut? This isn't bingo.
Hefe, you don't need to do that.
My guess is they're anticipating they might need to come back. So you need the that doesn't really save you much time because you still have the strength blocks and you need the hook shot. So
Not sure what's going on.
not sure. Maybe just the swag. Yeah, I don't think that the shortcut saves much, if any, time. It's negligible at best.
Might just be muscle memory from playing too much bingo.
It's possible. Just assumes needs to do that goal.
Maybe he's secretly playing bingo while doing DDR.
Yeah, multitasking, that would be fun.
At the end of the stream, he's gonna be like, I got a bingo.
Like, perfect.
I guess there was a path of the hero in GTG, and that could be leading Asder away from other things that he should be doing.
Maybe, but it'd be weird because like the main thing you'd hope for Path to Kira on DTG is hook shot, which he found.
Maybe there'll be a bow in here and he'll get bailed out.
Maybe we kind of hope it's a bow, but we hope it's not a bow locked bow. That is entirely possible to happen.
Yeah,
but with stuff.
But what if toilet bow?
Toilet bow would be hilarious. And would also explain why Ganondorf feels confident telling you to go get light arrows. He's like, he's not going to use a bowl that came from the toilet. Link has some self-respect, right? He wouldn't.
Little does he know there's 3 different bows hidden around the world.
He hasn't been paying too much attention, really. It might be just saving magic, maybe?
No, that's on the bingo card. You light the torches with the bow, not using fire arrows.
Man, we should add that. I don't think that's currently a goal, but clearly we need to add that as a goal. Yeah, silver rupee ribs are a bingo goal, so this is supporting our theory.
The good old multitask.
See what Asger ends up doing from here, because has the hook shot, so can clear more of GTG, or at least easier than Nefe could. So I don't know if we'll see more things in there.
Yeah.
Ooh, oh, very close there for Nefe.
So what all could be in here? You get your butter knife, scale, bow, maybe a magic stone.
Well, we know where the other magic is. We know it's not that.
No,
it could be another.
not a magic meter, a magic stone. Like
Oh, that one you mean?
Yeah.
That could be Din's Fire. That could be the thing that's pointing to. Is nice for Shadow. They have fire arrows, so they didn't necessarily need it, but it's much easier, obviously, to do Din's than to use fire arrow entry. Oh, and Tobias, if you're not sure what bingo is, for bingo's like a different mode that you can play, and rather than the goal being to beat Ganon, when you start the game, you're given a list of specific tasks to complete in the game. Usually it's a 5x5, but there are also 4x4 boards of just various tasks you can do, such as finding items in the world, like Neighbor's Love or Hookshot, and it can be completing tasks, things like those Silver Rupee rooms or beating dungeons. And rather than having to go and beat Ganondorf at the end, your end goal is just to complete row, column, or diagonal.
Asder's all over the place. It failed out of GTG, going to Shadow now.
Yeah. Hoping Shadow can complete Shadow, so.
Can he? Oh yeah, you could hookshot Bongo's hands, can't you?
Well, you can just stab them even. Bongo's hands are very vulnerable, and you can beat Bongo as Child using only a stick and a shield. It's pretty cool actually to see, because you can just get ISG and run into the hands, and then that stuns them too. We may also see some of them go for the. We may also see Asder. I don't know if Asder knows the quick kill, but that's also something you can do in DDR, because this is a 1.0 ROM, so that works on there.
That's where you kill him before you even drop down, right?
Not before you drop down, but yeah, that's the idea, where you like damage him before popping down, and that doesn't start the cutscene, and then you're able to kill him before the cutscene starts. Hey, Shira. Yeah, he's doing Child Shadow, but as an adult.
Yes.
That's some garbage RNG for Dead Hands. Okay, that's a decent spot. Prescription.
Oh boy, prescription.
That sounds like it would be
closer to crafting that piece of the heart.
Everyone knows that piece of heart is clearly way of the hero. And Tobias, that sounds super fun. I wish we had something like that set up, but we don't.
Yeah, it might be something cool to set up later for the fans to do while watching. Just do their own little bingo.
We saw Nuffy just missed the quick kill there. I think it's just one hit off. So unfortunately has to sit through another phase of Twin Robot just flying around, being a jerk.
RNG phase.
Being like, hey, have every element but one you currently have. If you have ice, have a bunch of fire then.
Yep, all fire.
Oh, also, since apparently you missed our 1 hour, happy almost 2 hour, everyone.
Hey!
And also take this opportunity to thank our trackers that we've got. We got Winnie Demon and Mick Hall helping us out. Thanks so much for helping out with tracking. On co-coms with me, I've got Soulblade 128. So thanks so much for helping out. And of course, it's not a command, but it should be. We got a restreamers for Nefe and Azure here. We got their Twitch link there. We also have Siberion, our restreamer. So thanks to everyone there.
It'd be a lot more confusing if we didn't have the trackers, that's for sure.
Oh, for sure.
Because I know some runners don't have their personal trackers. You'd be like, I think he has this item.
There you go. I made it for you guys.
Hey, look at that. Fancy command.
Super fancy. Ignore that it was definitely the bot that posted that. The second part.
Yes.
Totally the bot. Don't worry about it.
There's been a whole lot of nothing in this Shadow Temple so far.
This is unfortunate. Do still hope for something good. Meanwhile, Nefe seems to be going child side spirit, hoping there's something there. We know there's actually just a small key, but hey, still worthwhile.
Yeah, you know, just child side adult. Don't worry about it.
I missed how exactly Nefe did that, but my guess is did the hover slide method.
No, he he jumped at the wall, and I think keys hit him, and he like climbed through the wall.
Oh, sorry, I meant get to the to get to the child side.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, how he clipped through there is just for some reason that wall is really badly programmed from that side because you're never supposed to get there. So like you can just climb. It's really weird. I don't know exactly how it works, other than it's badly.
It just works.
It just works.
The most cursed line ever.
It just works. It's a feature.
Fail. Now we could dive further.
Perfect. We need that for
Logical lab dive.
maybe something.
Even though you could just iron boots hookshot it or stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. We do have hookshot and iron boots, so, and we know that the item at the bottom of the like pond thing, the grotto in the field.
Icy
No,
waters.
we know that's dead too. So.
Oh, the Tectite grotto, yeah.
Tectite grotto. Yeah, that one's it.
It's a very literal name because it's just a grotto with the Tectite in it.
I mean, you know, it works. So can't say no to that.
Hey, that's Silver Gauntlets.
That's not bad. Silver gauntlets is nice to have. We'll see if Nefe just goes straight to the boss from here, or opts to keep going in the dungeon. At this point, can definitely clear Forest Temple, can clear Fire Temple, can clear Water Temple, and if he knows Fire Air Entry, should be able to clear Shadow as well. So there's a decent chance that Nefe will just be like go mode. Alternatively, I was having saying that Volvadra has small key, so might just be going to grab that small key first. We'll see. Also, guys, correct me if I'm wrong. It looks like Nefe's going up here to grab a fairy, right? Okay, maybe just bombs, because I'm pretty sure Nefe's the one that bought a tunic.
He did buy a tunic.
Okay, good.
And it's purple?
It's espresso.
Couldn't tell if that was purple or pink.
Hey, chat, is that pink or purple? If you think it's purple, leave a 1 in chat. If you think it's pink, leave a 0 in chat. If you think it's some other color, put a 2 and then the name of the color.
Yeah, purple tunic is blue and red tunic combined.
Yeah, so it has the properties of both Goron tunic and Zora tunic. If only.
It's very weird how they didn't include that in the base game.
You'd think it's basically super easy to do. Might as well. Meanwhile, we see on Nefe's side doing. Oh yeah, he's going for the quick kill. Yep. Almost got hit there, but
get that 1 cycle.
Oh, just messed up the quick kill, unfortunately.
Dang. Nah, that wouldn't be OP. Just make it cost all of your money.
There's another slingshot.
So that's all 3, because Nefe has the other thing too. Also, it's probably Nefe, because there's 2 E's before the F.
Maybe? We'll have to ask who pops on for commentary afterwards. Meanwhile, as you're taunting the Stalfos.
Yep, just have them walk to their doom. This is why you don't use skeletons in your army.
Eh. No brains, you know? This is true. Filling in from right to left. So we'll see if they go to 4th next. Keep the pattern going.
Yeah, why not? Oh, maybe not. It might be
Seems to be going child, so.
Maybe hoping for vanilla boomerang.
That'd be a bold hope to go for. Just assume it's vanilla.
Is Zaboski nice? His move chest 1 over.
Same thing with fire, actually, because that was also in the chest right next to Zaboski. I'm curious to see where Nefe's going from here. Oh, maybe targeting the woods?
Going to Domain or Goron?
Clear. I thought that both of the players here cleared Domain, Child Domain, but maybe. Is he gonna check what that AD song is? He knows already, so I think he got the hint, and then just hoping that Trail is something good.
Or he's Mad Lad playing for the vanilla boomerang.
That would be ballsy AF, but if it paid off, it would be amazing. Ooh, that's a cool setup for. Looks like going for a hover slide. I didn't know you could do it from here.
Hover slide with bomb trees. Swag.
Ooh, that's some swag. That was chef kiss right there. That was cool. As bombs, I think. So you could just do a normal hover slide, but that was way cooler.
Going all the way out here just to free up your bottle seems weird. Especially when you could just go find 2 more in the bottom of the well.
Unless his plan is to go Ice Cavern after this, and so he really just needs that bottle.
Oh, yeah, because he hasn't done Ice Cavern yet. No,
Nope,
he's grabbing a fish. Alright.
He's going Jabu.
We're going vanilla boomerang. Old strategy. Let's see if it pays off.
Old move, Cotton. Meanwhile, on Azur's side, Bongo goes down. Wait, didn't you just move King Zora?
A completely unnecessary clip because he's moved King Zora. Yep.
The swag. We appreciate all the swag, especially when it loses time. Though I think he's going to clip back in bounds. Yeah, there you go. Or he's going to land back in water, I should say. Where are you going? You're not going back.
He's just swimming around.
He's swimming around. Is he trying to get to lake?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know what the intent was there.
The slower way out of the domain, I guess.
Way more swag though, so I do appreciate that. That was cool.
So also that was in Shadow was a medallion and a strength, it looks like.
I do still need the medallion, so it's still pretty good, but unfortunate for Azure not to find anything else.
You think he's just gonna kill the boss in here, or is he gonna go find that bow?
Ooh, we hope for his sake that he goes and checks for that bow. Also has the silver gauntlets now, so doesn't even have to do anything fancy. He can just push the block. So the play for Azure might have been to save warp out and just come do Spirit later, just in order to like start from the bottom on purpose, so that we could like grab these other checks and do earlier. That might have been the intent.
Yeah, I could see that.
And at this point, I don't know what song like on Astra's side would be super helpful. Like maybe Serenade could be useful for you, but and if you do plan on doing Jabu, maybe Prelude. But like
The only warp song, yeah, is the only 2 warp songs he doesn't have.
oh, Nefe just didn't grab the thing. He's like, I don't need Song of Storms. It's fine.
Play the
only locked.
cutscene, drop the Ocarina. Nah, I don't need that.
Zelda's like, desperately, Link, do this, and you're like, but I got better things to do.
Oh, he hopes he's in go mode. I could see that.
I could definitely see go mode hopes.
Alright, cool. So, Azdir did get his bow.
It's definitely good for him because we have no idea where we haven't seen any other bows. So It looks like Nefe is probably going to go for the cutscene. So this is why we have the enable use for cutscenes turned on. It's for this one specific trick here. So he's going to drop the fish, and he's going to try and catch it on a specific frame. So you'll see this one here, and that causes the catching to interrupt this cutscene, and you're able to regain control, and then run to the elevator before it goes down.
Hope the boss key is down here.
Yeah, you hope it's down here. There are other options, and regardless, done optimally, this will always be faster.
Yeah, I guess the entire child trip was just for the bottle to get the fish.
Just to skip that cutscene. It does save time. I don't know if it saves more, like if going to the trip saved more time than than it would have to just have watched the cutscene and do the temple normally. It might depend where this boss key is. So
the boss key is here. Save time.
Yeah, if the boss key's here, I think it definitely saved time. If it's pretty late, it probably didn't. Oh.
Well, that's all right.
All right, we'll take that.
Light arrows are kind of important.
Yeah, just a little bit, you know. As they're getting wrecked by this Iron Knuckle.
Yeah, he is. It just keeps doing the downswing on him.
If you are looking for a fairly consistent strat to beat it, if you like get within range, and you can usually backflip, and then while it's swinging, you can do a jump slash and then repeat. It's pretty slow, but it is quite safe. So as long as you get the timing right. Yeah, I'm not 100% certain if Nefe can fire air entry, and I haven't seen stuff to confirm. Like we might be able to find out depending on forest. Yeah. Though the good thing for Nefe is has iron boots and has Zelda's lullaby, so water couple shouldn't be too bad for him. There are some really gross tricks without those. Well, one might be able to let us know if Nefe thinks season go mode is if he ends up finding the boss key and just immediately going to the boss. That might be an indication. Is a skip in Crusher Room and Shadow? You mean like where the blocks come down to crush you and you jump through them? Din's the Crusher Room. The Din's Fire, skip, and Crusher Room. Oh yes, that one. I see what you mean. Yes, that one is allowed. I think yesterday we were talking. I think theoretically you could also QBA that as child. I don't think currently QBA isn't really feasible as adult because you don't have access to Deku sticks. But theoretically, I think you could QBA and burn those walls. Funnily enough, it'd be slower, but it'd also be funnier. So.
Oh, he had two fires and then got hit by the ice.
So we'll see here on Nefe's side, actually, a cool trick that's actually, I think, now allowed in one version glitchless. When bombs give you a nice burst of speed, so if you wait for a specific frame of recoil and then put on the hover boots, you get a giant jump that allows you to cross that gap before you're supposed to. So here we see one of the strength skips that you can do on Nefe's side. If you do a ground jump, you could just clip straight through that particular block. And similarly, we'll probably see another version where you can ground jump and then use the corner to clip into the block and hover boots to get across. So we'll likely see that here because it is faster. Meanwhile, as you're finishing off Quinrova,
He hit his split too.
oh, perfect. Oh, for the medallions. Nice. This is an interesting setup for Nefe. I did not know you could do that. That's cool. I don't know if it's faster than just using the hover boots, but it's cool, so I like it.
Yeah, that's all that matters. It's cool.
Yeah.
Looks like Asder might be going the old water temple.
Yeah. We'll see. It does have stuff to clear Water Temple pretty well, so. Opting to summon Epona.
Gave up on trying to super slide.
Super sliding on slopes is harder to do, so definitely fair. Still no luck for Nefe to find that boss key, which is kind of annoying. This particular area is like one of the worst spots to have it if you do the skip, because it's kind of a little bit annoying to go back from here. You can do it via a weird shot, but you kind of don't really want to. It's a lot slower than it just being one of the previous rooms. Pretty clean stealthless there for Nefe.
It's good value on that red potion.
Yeah, it's a very healthy seed with all of our hearts our players have. They both have 11 hearts.
Yeah.
And Asder has double defense.
Bullying that poor Poe with the hook shot.
Yeah, definitely an old school strat for beating those Poes. A lot of times you'll see a lot of runners also use Deku Nuts to make them appear instantly. But you know, it's way cooler to use the hook shot. So you gotta like aim and stuff too.
Boss cues after 2 of the 3 Poes that you need.
So that's pretty gross location. Looks like Nefe's just gonna walk back.
Would it be faster just to warp back to the minuet and get back in that way?
No. If you either save and quit, or if you, I presume if you minuet as well, because I'll probably reload the dungeon, it'll actually reset the elevator. So
you have to redo the cutscene.
Well, the cutscene's gone then, so you actually would then have to do the dungeon normally.
Oh.
So it is a pretty tricky thing that can have some consequences. It's partly why I don't know if we mentioned it this particular race, but it can be sometimes just be optimal to just play completely without glitches. And I'd like to point out that the logic that is used for DDRC is glitchless, so you're never required to do any of the glitches you see our players go for. They are entirely up to you if you want to do just ISG or even just play completely standard. That is also a completely valid playstyle. In this particular case, it might be one of those cases that the glitches ended up costing a bit of time. You might break even, I'm not sure exactly for the timing, but that was a pretty deep boss key in the dungeon, so...
Yeah, it didn't really skip a whole lot of checks by finding it that deep.
And in DDR, it's basically all if you already have the fish and whatnot, like it's always going to be faster to do that because it saves you having to beat the 2 last pose, even in the worst case scenario. But having to actually go empty a bottle and grab a fish, I'm not sure how timing works out for that, but it is cool. So no, that's pretty good too.
Definitely.
Meanwhile, on Nefe side, we will also see the objectively best usage for ISG. Since, as we were mentioning at the start, ISG, or Infinite Sword Glitch, means you are considered to be stabbing every single frame. And so every single frame, you're able to reflect Ganondorf's or Phantom Ganon's beams with no effort.
You just stand there menacingly.
Just stand there and he dies.
Link stares intensified.
Exactly. Ooh, also nice job there. What Nefe did there, at some point, Phantom Ganon will leave the stun lock, and so it has a chance to escape. But if you shoot Phantom Ganon with the bow, there is a point during that he's considered to be vulnerable. And so if you have ISG active, you then hit Phantom Ganon during that vulnerability, and it puts him back down. And so you're able to just finish off really quickly. So apologies to the person that was hoping Nefe was going to go right to left. Looks like Nefe is going to be doing Shadow. And this should also answer your question, Winnie. If he knows fire entry, we're going to see it in about 3 seconds.
He's rolling that way. Oh, wait.
Yeah, we just ignore Jabu and pretend it doesn't exist.
Maybe he's not rolling that way.
Might be hoping for more arrows, or has full magic, so clearly not that, but might be just be hoping for more arrows. This is a swag hammer slide from Azure to cross this gap. You can just cross it with hover bits normally, but like if you can hammer slide, might as well hammer slide, right?
Yeah, might as well. Yeah, it looks like what he was going for was just more arrows. Alright, here we go. Fire arrow entry.
We'll see. I don't know at what point. Pretty much everyone who does this trick, at least that I know of, go and have the video from, I think it's Exodus's video with the setup. My guess is that's what Nefe is currently watching to make sure you have the setup right.
Yeah,
there are a lot of steps.
He's on the pause menu, so he's probably looking at it right now. Like, all right.
No individual part of fire entry is super difficult because it's a bunch of just like rolling and jumping. But it's definitely, there's a lot of steps, so remembering off the top of your head is a little bit tricky. Ooh, that's unfortunate. So that's gonna have to reset the magic there because those torches are gonna go out on him.
Feels bad.
Feels bad. It's definitely one that, as we were mentioning, none of the individual steps are very tricky, but there are a lot of them, and so it's fairly easy to just mess up one part of that trick and then it's having to reset. The good news though is having Nocturne, you can just warp back super easily and just go for it again. And of course, as we're mentioning, this is not required to do. It does use glitchless logic, and so you are expected to have Din's Fire before doing this. And as we know, Asger has Din's Fire, so we know where that is. It is accessible in GTG. A lot of the tricks in OOT are always impressive that people figured out how to do them. It always amazes me the just skill of the glitch hunters in OOT. They do an amazing job, and they all deserve all the shoutouts they can get. And there we go. Yeah, that should definitely be go mode. So please verify name. DDR is the rule set that's in use here. It stands for Dungeon Door Requirement, and it's a rule set that's designed to be between standard and no iron rod warp in terms of glitches. It bans some of the most powerful glitches in the game, notably item manipulation, wrong warping, as well as bomb hovering, while allowing a lot more of the quality of life glitches. The notable things you have to do for DDR is you have to enter the boss room, or sorry, you have to enter the dungeons more or less the intended way, as well as having to enter boss rooms by standing in front of the boss door and pressing A.
Because I know when I first played this, like the Shadow Temple, I'm like, man, why can't you just light all those torches with the fire arrow? Why do you need Din's Fire?
Apparently you can. It's just
and then apparently you can, and then I didn't know that when I first played the game.
It does use a quirk of the game. It's an intended quirk of the game. But it works, so.
If only little me knew.
Frankly, I'd be very impressed if like any 10-year-old kid did that setup in order to enter Shadow Temple. I'd be very impressed.
You know, maybe you're just playing Vanilla Seed and you somehow didn't get Din's Fire.
Oh, you mean like this one? Like this Vanilla Seed?
Yeah, like this one.
Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty deep boss key in Water Temple.
After through my accent sounded a bit like Jeff Goldblum. I've never heard that one before. I don't think Jeff Goldblum is Canadian, so I can't confirm that.
Are you sure about that?
I'm sure I don't know if Jeff Goldblum is Canadian, if that's what you mean. Maybe Jeff Goldblum is Canadian. Ooh, on Asger's side on the right, we see him doing a hover slide. You missed the start of this. Hover boots are really interesting in that they allow you to preserve momentum really well. And so what he did there is that using the hammer, and at one point in the recoil animation, you have a giant burst of speed backwards, and normally that gets chopped off pretty quickly with the Kokiri boots. But with hover boots, you're able to preserve that. And then because they're hover boots, they allow you also to hover across the ground or hover across gaps, because you're able to cross that gap to Morpho's room.
Here, I thought hover boots were just cool props.
Yeah, it's always funny to me that like hover boots are something you really, really like to find in DDR, but it's not for the things the game wants you to use hover boots for. The game intends you to use hover boots in Shadow Temple and like a bit in Spirit and some in GTG. We use hover boots to like skip strength requirements and to cross giant gaps. Definitely things the game don't expect.
No, that's what you're supposed to use them for, crossing giant gaps.
Makes sense.
They make you hover.
Exactly. They're got hovering in the name. Makes sense. So on Nefe's side, Nefe's actually trying to do a gate clip here. So if you have a particular angle, clip, but then clip back
Almost
and back.
had it.
If you have a particular angle here, you can just wedge yourself in between the gate and the wall there, and just clip into this gate and go continue to the other side. There are a ton of setups for it, so like it's one of those pick your poison kind of ways you want to do it. I think Nefe is doing a kind of old school method, where you use C up. There are also a bunch of different setups that involve like jumping all over the place. My personal preference involves doing like a couple of shielded slashes.
Gold scale. Get it.
I don't even know if there's anything it could be useful for.
There's not.
As you're leaving it behind.
Absolutely zero things that you need gold scale for.
At least at this point. You need the gold scale because it's gold?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's also why you get the gold gauntlets, because they're gold.
Yeah. Though, to be fair, with cosmetic settings, maybe they're not gold.
True. I think the real strategy is whoever figures out how to change the color of the Hylian shield.
That sounds like a Roman thing. I think most of the cosmetic things in OoTR, Roman's got a lot of them, so maybe that's something he's working on.
I feel like that would take a lot more coding than just a tunic or mirror shield change.
Yeah, I think that's actually a texture in the game, so maybe. So why did Nefi go backwards? So Nefi is right now trying to find the boss key. So it was kind of, my guess is that Nefi was hoping that the boss key was in those rooms just beforehand. It's kind of, if it is, it's faster to do the gate clip and then go backwards. And then ended up just wanting to go back. If you're really, really lucky for Shadow Temple, the boss key is actually in one of those first like 2 checks, or 4 if you count the ones just past the gap. And that lets you go straight to the boss from there. Welcome. Welcome all the raiders from ZeldaSpeedRuns. Thank you for the raid.
Now, Azir just got the boss key, but he's still doing... I guess he's just finishing the boss key loop. Probably going to the boss right now.
Yeah, we'll see if he ends up going to the boss or if he tries to clear more. He probably should be able to complete it, but we'll see.
Right to the boss.
Right. If you are just joining us from Zelda Speedruns main, first off, welcome. You're watching the 4th qualifier race for the first DDR tournament. So this is the 4th qualifier of 8. So there's going to be another month after this of DDR qualifiers. Same time, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern time. If you've never seen DDR rule set or DDR races, DDR is a glitched rule set between standard and no iron realm warp that allows a lot of quality of life glitches while banning some of the most powerful glitches in the game. For these settings that we use, which are different than a lot of the typical ones for standard, they need 1 stone in order to access Ganon's castle, as well as 5 medallions to get the Ganon's boss key from Light Arrow Captain. Also, with people just joining us, also a good time to shout out once again our trackers, who are Winnie Demon and Mekala. Thanks, as always, for helping out with our tracking and letting us know what items they have, because definitely we miss it without. Also, shout out to our 2 runners on Restream, Nefe and Asder, as well as my co-commentator, Soulblade128, and also, of course, our restreamer helping us out, setting everything up. It didn't let me set that. There you go. Siberian.
Bot was a little slow on that one.
Yeah, bot was slow. I don't know why. Also, the bot just realized that the bot misspelled restreamer in that comment, so the bot is going to resend that. There you go.
The restreamer.
Restreamer. Man, that bot should take some typing lessons.
And also thank you, Dobby Digital, for also commentating this match.
My pleasure, as always. Always love to do these.
We got ourselves a veritable race here.
Ooh, that's a nice gauntlet color. I like on Nefe side. There, so Nefe still needs to complete 2 more medallions. So it's going to be Shadow for sure, clearly in there, and then likely going for Water afterwards. Azure just needs more.
Azure's just going to Force Temple.
Ooh, and Sora just finished. GG for Sora.
GG, Sora. He must have found the Keyblade.
He must have found the Keyblade. Sora is a very well experienced DDR players, so. Oh, perfect. There's that mirror shield. There's that mirror shield that Shiro was hoping for. Or not mirror shield, Decker shield. We'll see. Azure doesn't have
the same thing.
Basically the same thing. It's like mirror shield for Chow, right? So yeah, we do have a couple of forfeits. Unfortunately, we do hate to see it, but we understand that sometimes things pop up, particularly because it's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers in chat, and the fathers of all the people in chat. So we understand it happens, even if it's unfortunate. We never hope it for anyone.
Might be even closer, as they didn't go for the elevator cutscene skip.
Yeah, so we did see Asder not even trying for that skip, so probably just going to go through it vanilla. The one interesting thing is if Asder is going through this in Go mode and is doing this without the cutscene skip, might end up skipping the chest at the bottom.
It makes sense to skip that.
So if you're pushing the thing anyway, you might not, because I mean you've already basically got access to it. So we'll see.
This is the last one he needs before he can beat the game, so
yeah. It does have his light arrows. We saw that on Nefe's side, so
yeah. It'd be unfortunate if he did not get those.
It would be. Thankfully, Ganondorf will tell him it's in Forest Temple, and then we'll probably have a giant groan at having to go back there. But at least we'll know where to go.
Ganon will look at Link and be like, "Dude, really?"
Yeah, like you were right there.
They were literally right before my Phantom me. Come on, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, he had the Phantom to help guard them. Did a bad job of guarding them, but you know. You tried?
He also put a very hard block pushing puzzle. I mean, come on.
That's true. There was a block pushing puzzle that we sometimes skip. So it's definitely going to be interesting. This race might just come down to routing within the dungeons. So one interesting thing that we can see for the 1s/5m settings we like to use, it does allow for a lot of variety in terms of the items you need, as well as the route you want to end up doing. The routing is critically important to know where you have to go, but there are multiple valid answers that are going to be good. So we see here two very, very different routes, but are going to be ending up pretty close to time, actually. It will depend on how Nefe ends up going through Water Temple. Azure, I think, is going to be finding the boss key in not too long, but we'll still have to clear the rest of the fourth temple to get all the pose.
You could just stand still and slide through that wooden wall.
So it's not standing still and sliding. What's actually happening is that it's the redeads that are yelling at you, and the yelling freezes you in place, and those barriers actually move through you. It's amazing and hilarious, and I love it. So you can see here the yell, and then it moves through you.
Just whoop.
It's amazing. I love so much that that works.
Got a boss key for his troubles.
That's probably going to be a slightly annoying spot for Nefe. Nefe basically cleared Shadow Temple looking for that boss key. End up being one of like the god spots you want. This is that's a really nice location to have the boss key, because you can just do the gate clip and go directly there. We'll see if Nefe ends up going for the quick kill. It looks like yes. So yeah, so this is a quick kill we were mentioning earlier. So that's a good question. So you are able to use to super slide with either 1 bomb or 2 bomb. But you do have more leniency in terms of a number of frames you have to do the trick if you use 2 bombs. I can't tell you exactly the numbers. I'm not that familiar with exactly the precise mechanics of how it's working, but I do know that it's more lenient if you use 2 bombs. Probably also good segue to mention, if you are watching this and are wanting to learn some tricks, either to join races, which we have every Saturday at 11 a.m., if you want to learn those techniques just for casual play for fun, welcome you. Thank you, Siberian, for posting the Discord. You can check out the DDR discussion channel or the DDR S1 discussion channel, and you can ask around for people there. There's typically, 11 a.m. Eastern time, so should be 3 p.m. UTC. Someone might be able to correct me. And those have both of those channels will have people very happy to help you learn tricks. You can also check out the gameplay and trick section in the Discord as well. Also a good place.
You were close. It's 4 p.m.
It's 4 p.m.? 4 p.m.
For UTC.
For UTC. I forgot if it was 4 or 5 hours. Thank you, Rex V, was donating $1. Yeah, there is definitely a weird point at which the time zones change, and then it's always a headache trying to figure out what timing things are. Yeah, it's 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Whether it's Eastern Standard Time or Eastern Daylight Time, I couldn't tell you. It's Eastern Time, whatever that is right now.
That's possibly the worst system that still exists that nobody wants to use.
It is definitely a very controversial thing that many people think should not exist anymore, and I personally agree. But you know, change is hard.
It was originally created for farmers, and yeah.
Cool. So we'll see here. Neve is about to enter Water Temple. With Iron Boots and Zelda's Lullaby and Hookshot, this should be decently fast, but still needs to find that boss. We know it's in the center pillar. That's where we saw on Asger's side. So it will be depends how fast Asger, or sorry, Neve, opts to go down there and grab that key.
Yeah. Probably wouldn't take too much effort to just be like, yeah, we're not using daylight savings time anymore. Get used to it.
I'm also Canadian, so I can say, you know, worst system yet. I mean, Imperial. Come on, guys. Everyone knows the best way to measure distance is via time. Come on. The Canadian way. How far is it to the nearest Timmy's? About 10 minutes. It's a real info you want.
I mean, that is the best way to measure. Like, yeah, it'll be about 10 minutes. Yeah, but patching computers doesn't need important people. You could just stick an intern and he'll do it eventually.
It also depends too, because it depends what they sync via. If the time for the device is like synced via online, you might just have to change the central server that's controlling the time for all of these different devices, and then you're good to go.
Yeah, there's nerds that are smart people that could figure that out.
Closest Whataburger is down yonder next to Starbucks.
Yep. Down yonder. Nobody knows exactly how far that is, but it's a yonder.
Yeah. I think a yonder is like 10 smidgens, right?
Hey, if I want to say down yonder, I'll say down yonder, alright? You can't correct me in my made-up word.
To be honest, though, technically aren't all words made up? If we're being real here.
Yes, but that one is even more made up.
Yeah, so there is also Cyber, I'm mentioning going the vanilla way. You can obviously do this in order to get down from here, but there's also a ledge that you can do with it tilted. You can do like a particular setup in order to clip out of bounds and just fall directly into this room. That just saves you having to go to that room and turning the room. That's all it saves. You can also for Azure in particular could also save, reset, and then there's a strategy to do a hover boost from the main room to get over this ledge sooner. You see it all the time in bingo for defeat the green Poe, which is Amy? Maybe?
It's Blinky. And then there's Inky and Winky.
Oh, and then the other one is like some weird name. It's like Inky, Winky, in Pac-Man. I forget it. The other one's like really weird.
Clyde, I think.
Clyde. But I think for this they call them like Amy, Poe, Meg. Don't remember the other two names. Oh, there's Belle, I think. Joelle? I've heard tell it's a reference to something. I don't remember what it's a reference to, though.
Cool, so there we go. So Asder is about to go to the boss. So, whereas Nefe still has to find that boss key. He's not too far behind, but does still need to go find that. It also might also depend too if Asder ends up skipping this light arrows in the bottom. That's going to be pretty bad. Oh, GG for Dotso.
Finish time 2:51:31.
It's a good time.
So no, there aren't any trials required for this tournament. In particular for the DDR rules set, by default for a lot of races, you aren't required to do trials even if they are turned on. Those specific kind of communities do require that. Notably RSL, when they do DDR stuff, you are required to do trials. Here though, that's not the case.
I mean, is there a world where you just don't open that chest? It's right there, and you're already down here, you might as well, right?
I don't know. I hope we don't see it. For Asder's sake, I hope that's not the world we see now. Because it is, as we're saying, it's right there. And it's... Oh, look like going for it. Good.
I don't think there's a way many people would skip that chest.
Yeah, unless you like already have light arrows and there's literally nothing else that could help you, then maybe you'd go for it. Notably, there's a trick you can do in order where you just, instead of pushing the walls, whatever you want to call it down here, when you rotate the room, you can just rotate it once and then clip out of bounds and kind of go around the room itself to get to the boss door. So you don't necessarily have to do the entire puzzle, and you probably do that if you already had everything you need.
Yeah, if you had everything, you definitely would do that. But if you're still missing items that you need, you definitely don't want to be skipping checks.
Yeah. In this case, was definitely glad that he opted for that check, because, yeah. That's kind of necessary to beat the game. And yes, you could come back for it, but that would be pretty slow.
Now he could just beat up 2 Ganons in a row.
Perfect. Just beat up all the Ganons. And good news for Nefe, we know this is this has the boss key for it. So we'll be going to Morpha pretty soon. And so won't be that far behind Asder.
Fairly close. It's always nice to see. That dang little cute baby Deku tree just staring at you.
Which, in OTR, we have no idea where it comes from, because it just pops out of nowhere.
They had the very important item of a bomb bag.
Yeah, we haven't found the third bomb bag, but at this point, it's looking like that's going to be our way of the hero, and there's something, and the other bomb bag is blocked. It's entirely possible that's not the case, and there's something else logically required. But at this point, I don't even know what it really could be.
Probably just in Jabu.
Yeah, it could be in. Is Jabu bomb locked?
No,
Yeah,
I don't think it is. I forgot where the letter was at.
Cool. Letter was at some. It was pretty early for both our players. Dompe dinging, that was it. We were joking about hiding a child.
Oh yeah. So no, I don't. Jabu wouldn't have been bomb locks.
One interesting thing for Asger, it looks like Asger hasn't done this climb, so that is going to buy Nefe a little bit more time, since Nefe already cleared some of these first spots. He's probably only going to be going to the Ganon fight. Maybe like a minute or two behind, if that. So we'll see.
Do you think they would be more even if Nefe didn't go for the elevator skip?
Honestly, it would definitely be. It's tough to say with that amount of time, because like as you see, Asger found the boss key, but still had to go and do a decent amount of stuff. Like still had to clear the entire second half of the dungeon. So it's not a trivial amount that you save by doing the Poe cutscene skip. Is it more than the amount it took to empty it? Honestly, it's really tough to say. I think it was slightly slower to do the cutscene skip in this particular case, but it's close.
Sage is third place.
GG for Sage.
57.
Ooh.
Oh.
As you're going for, not opting for the bottle strats, which is interesting. My guess was going for a quick spin there and just missed the timing. Man, it always impresses me. I play on EverDrive, which has a lot of lag, and the Ganondorf fight in particular is a slideshow. And so anyone actually being able to get ISG during that fight always impresses me because I have about 2 frames in that fight, so it's basically impossible. I've gotten it all of once ever.
Just hit one of your 2 frames. It's easy.
Yeah, just hit one of the frames. It's fine.
I think it's entirely possible to get 4th or 5th for Asder.
Yeah, we'll see. No spoilers. We'll see. Asger is definitely quite close to being finished. Nefe not far behind.
Just a couple more stairs to climb, Link. You're almost there.
Oh. GG to RG, just barely clinching that sub 3.
Nice.
This probably sucks for Nefe because it's so close to being done, and then seeing at this point it's going to be like 2 or 3 players finish just a little bit before you. That's very unfortunate.
Oh, he's missing the roll through crouch stab. There we go. You got him. You got the rhythm.
There you go. Can you feel the rhythm? Can you feel the rhythm? Oh, hey. Right, and so we're coming up on GG for Asder. Got the light game, and then, you know. I always hate this part, though, because it always feels like you're done, and then there's this, like, 30 seconds of, like, Zelda shooting him. It's really tough.
Yeah.
But GG to Asder. Finish time of 3:01:24.
Very nice. Evil has been vanquished again. What's he doing with that bomb?
Looks like he was trying to get IG. GG, I assume that's Asda.
Yep. Hello. Thank you.
So, what are your thoughts overall? I think that was your, if the points are correct, that was your first DDR seat, so thanks for joining us. We always like having new players.
Yeah. This looked like fun. There's a No I Am Rome Warp tournament I was in a couple of years ago. I was on Speed Gaming. I haven't really played since, but I like this kind of playstyle a bit more than standard, even if I'm not that good at it.
Practice always makes perfect. We still have, I don't know if you're anticipating joining the tournament, but there's another 4 weeks, 4 qualifiers after this, so there's still plenty of time to qualify.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing the last weeks, but I couldn't make it, so...
That's unfortunate. It happens sometimes, so we definitely understand.
But yeah, I'll try to get in my races, see what kind of placing I end up in.
Oh, we always love to see it. So overall, what are your thoughts for this seed? It was definitely a interesting one to watch.
That was the most annoying Deku that I've ever had as a start. It was like complete bait, there was nothing there, and it was a stone, and we already started with the stone, so it wasn't like useful for Gana's castles. That was really annoying.
Yeah.
Other than that, it was I missed hookshot and bow for a long time. I guess the seed wanted you to like continue child spirit, but if you can glitch to adult side in DDR, I don't usually do that. I know a lot of people will just go straight to adult side. Well, we didn't have a key for it, I don't think, but I know some people will flip to child side as adult. I don't really know how to do that.
I know on Restream, Nefe did that. I know a lot of players tend to opt for that. In this case, I don't think it would help you too much, other than saving up back and forth. But since you had Requiem. Speaking of spirit, though, we were trying to figure out on Restream because we at that point you guys neither of you guys had hookshot. We had no idea where the first hookshot was, and you went through most of spirit, had unlocked the shortcut. And then found hookshot. We were anticipating you at that point to just beat Twin Rova, get your medallion, and then leave. But instead, you opted to warp out and come back. What was the reasoning there?
I wasn't expecting hookshot to show up there, so when it showed up, I was already thinking, okay, I can't beat this dungeon right now. So when hookshot showed up, my first thoughts was, okay, what can I go and do a hook shot that I've really wanted to do for a while? And so I left and did that instead of being the dungeon. And then I was like, okay, well that was a bit of a mistake, but it's fine because I still have the bottom things in adult side because I couldn't reach the switch. So it's fine, I'll just clean that up on my way back in, and hopefully there's something there and it won't have been too bad of a mistake to leave like that.
And it ended up being good because your bow was there. And I think that's actually the only bow we found on Restream, so it was very good you ended up going back there for that.
Yeah, that was kind of my go mode. I was really hoping for a boomerang to show up, because one of the other things is I don't know how to... Or I did it a long time ago, but I don't remember how to do the poke cutscene skip in Forest. So I was kind of banking on it not helping too much. Or I was hoping Rang would show up so I could do Jabu instead, because that would have been faster for me. But Lights ended up in Forest anyway, so...
It definitely ended up the boss key that ended up at probably one of the worst spots for if you're doing the cutscene skip, like halfway through the dungeon. It's about as bad as you can get.
I think it was literally the worst spot for that, so I felt pretty good about that.
Also, GG's to Nefe, finishing with his in 6th place with 306.16. GG's there. Yeah, we'll see. We'll probably talk about what Nefe did there when they pop in to if they're joining for individual. We'll see if they opt to join in. But yeah, we definitely saw some very interesting strats on display. So yeah, the part we were most curious about was that Spirit Temple play. But we were kind of curious overall for your routing. This ended up being kind of a at the start, not very many items that you guys ended up with. So I don't know what you're thinking of was going to be the intended path the seed was expecting you to go. Were you expecting it to be like an all dungeons thing or something like that, or?
I don't know what I was expecting really. I sequence broke well because I didn't have a lot of items and I wanted to do it for efficiency, and I was thinking Song of Storms might be the next song that Logic would get me. Like I was thinking maybe it's at Bolero. I'll just like instead of going adult, getting the song and coming back, I'll just do well right now. And even if it's not Song of Storms there, I might find something useful there anyways. And then when I found out it was on OOT later, I felt kind of bad because it was like that makes me not want to go to Dodongo's Cavern, even though like you want to do that almost every seed. And I figured some people might have just done DC and gotten all the stones, gotten Song of Storms. I'm not really sure. A lot of the points throughout the route, I was kind of indecisive about what to do because you see it in a lot of weird situations I hadn't really seen before, and I don't play a lot of OOTR to begin with, so I'm not that good at like reacting to what items show up and deciding on the best thing to go to.
Welcome, GG Nefe.
GG.
Also, before we get too far, just because we had some questions in chat and I wasn't sure if I'm pronouncing it right. Is it Nefe or is it Nefe, or how would you like your name pronounced?
Neef.
Neef. So actually,
Yes.
The person in chat was correct. They proposed that. So my apologies. I've been saying your name wrong the entire restream, so my apologies for that.
No problem.
So yeah, so Neef, overall, what were your thoughts about this seed?
The worst.
The worst. Okay.
Hashtag blame Siberian.
Yeah, I feel like unless I was just completely off the mark the entire time, it was just a search for Mirror Shield for like forever, and then once I found that, it was just like a really restricted spirit, and that unlocked everything else. Did everyone else did, or is that just me?
So yeah, so on Restream we had Azure, so we're not sure what the other people did, but yeah, it was very much a spirit lock seed in this case for both of you guys, really.
Mm-hmm.
That poke shot,
That's
we
where
still don't know
everything
where
was where you needed to beat the game was in Spirit Temple.
Yeah.
basically. It was a very nice opportunity hint pointing you there, because, yeah, there was a hook shot, a bow, and hammer.
Yeah, quite the opportunity. It's pretty good.
Yeah, once
Yeah,
I saw that hammer there, I kind of thought that was going to be it. I wasn't expecting. I was expecting like maybe first hook shot was in Fire Temple, but I didn't want to leave right away. Actually, routing like the main room was really awkward for me, not having hook shot yet. But I routed it weird, so.
Yeah, we were wondering on Restream for Neef. So after you got the hammer, you then in Spirit Temple on the upper the upper right side, you then used it on the rusty switch. Was there a particular reason for that? Were you planning on like opening up the shortcut when you realized you needed strength 2, or
Yeah, that's exactly
bingo
it.
muscle memory?
Yeah, I hit the switch and I'm like, okay, I'll just unlock the shortcut, and then I realized I didn't have strength, so just moved on.
Makes sense. I also did want to ask Neef, so like when you went to just before Forest Temple, we were trying to figure out what you were doing, and it looked like you went to at that point your only bottle was Burrito's Ladder, and so going to Zora's Domain in order to hand that in just for the bottle and then for the fish.
Yeah.
Then after that, you kind of clipped out of bounds. What was the goal there? Were you trying to get to like the Lake Hylia, or was the goal just to get back to the entrance?
That was exactly it. I was going to Lake Hylia with no knowledge of how to actually do that. It did not work.
Pretty cool. It looked pretty cool. It looked like it was close, and honestly, I wasn't 100% certain if like you got it because you were near the right-ish area, so it looked pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I was just too low. I was under the floor still. I just
Wait,
voided
sorry,
out.
what trick was he trying to do?
I did like the clip to get behind King Zora as child, but instead of going behind him, I tried to go to the lower room and just walk into the loading zone to get to the lake.
Oh, okay.
But I missed it.
Missed it and just went back to the entrance.
Yeah, I figured it wasn't worth trying again. I didn't really know what I was doing.
I also don't know if at that point you had Silver Scale, because apparently our trackers say you have it now, but I don't know if that was the case at that point.
Yeah, that was in Shadow, and I was there before I did Shadow.
And I think you got a little unlucky in Shadow Temple with that boss key placement. It being like right at the end and then clearing the whole thing is kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's a good idea to go to the end unless you have Furor's Wind, because you might have to ride the boat again if it's not there.
Riding the boat is super slow.
Yeah.
Who even puts a boat there anyways? Seems like a weird choice.
I mean, there's water too. I don't know personally who put a river. Seems kind of inopportune, but it's fine.
Definitely wasn't the worst seed I've seen.
I think it was a slow seed. Like the finish times I'm seeing look like pretty far above average for experienced people.
Yeah, for DDR, typically if you've got a seed that's the best finish time is less than 2 hours, that's a good seed. If the top place finish time is between 2 and 2.5 hours, usually that's an average seed. And if top place finishes over 2.5 hours, usually that's a bad seed. So this is pretty unlucky for progress. The top finish at 2:37 isn't great. Reminder, #blame Siberian. I didn't roll this one. Please don't come at me with pitchforks. It's not my fault this time. You can blame me for the other weeks, but not this one.
I guess my mindset is not on DDR, it's on the other rule sets. Where 3 hours is like, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, one thing we like for the 5 medallions for DDR, it typically has a lot more flexibility in terms of your route, and actually significantly reduces the amount of time it typically takes, since, you don't have to full clear the game looking for just Boomerang. You can be like, hey, well, I need either Boomerang or Hammer, and I'm done.
Yeah, it makes sense why people are saying that now.
I don't suppose. Yeah, I'm guessing we have no idea where Boomerang is because you didn't find it, obviously. And
No.
Not sure if any of the other players found it. Typically, we don't have a spoiler log, so our only hope is if other people found it and posted it in I think. Oh, Sage saying that Dotsa found it in toilet.
Nice.
oh, that is hilarious. I was thinking about doing toilet if I didn't find anything else good in GDG, but I found Dens and decided to bail.
Finally, an item on toilet, and nobody got it on restream.
I almost never like to do toilet, but this is like the one time I was thinking about it. I still didn't do it.
Yeah, I didn't go back to GTG after Spirit. I think I had everything I needed after Spirit.
I think both of you guys after clearing Spirit were it was definitely go mode for Asger since you had to Inspire. We weren't 100% sure if you knew Fire Air entry, and then we saw you go directly from I think it was the After Force going directly to Shadow, and we're like, yeah, clearly is okay with this.
Yeah, I haven't done it in a while, so had to kind of read off the list of steps to do as I was doing it, but it's not too bad.
There are a lot of steps, but thankfully each individual one isn't too bad to do. It's just have to make sure not to miss one.
At least we actually where was Nocturne? It was early, right?
It was on Adult
Minuet, I think.
Sacred Forest Meadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like at least we had Nocturne. Fire Air entry is like really bad to fail without Nocturne.
I do hookshot jump every time is oof. So are there does anyone have any final comments, either Hester or Steve? Any other final comments for this seed?
This is a lot of fun. I'm kind of glad this seed is mostly as slow for everyone else as it was for me. So I was worried thinking of like how fast some of these finish times could be, and if I missed a faster way to get through the seed. But it's fun. I'll be joining more in some of the coming weeks. Thanks for the restream, and GG's.
Yeah, GG's. It's kind of a
GG.
weird scene that everything was locked up. I didn't want to go to Spirit until Mirror Shield, and then kind of everything just came out from there. So yeah. GG's.
Alright, I think we can wrap this up now. So again, GG to our restreamed runners, Neve and Asta. Also thank you to both our commentators, Dobby Digital and Soulblade. And don't forget our trackers, Winnie Demon and McPaula. For more Zelda, as a preview for CSR, tomorrow at 2 PM Eastern, we might have a Wind Waker Randomizer Challenge Cup race. And at 10 PM Eastern, we will have a link to the past Randomizer Challenge Cup race. And and for Tuesday we also have a few, but you can also check our schedule for more Zelda content. Any final last words before we raid over to ZSR main, where Wind Waker Randomizer race is going to start in about 10 minutes?
So on my side, once again, say thank you, because they never mentioned the restreamer, and they do a lot to set things up. Notably, in this case, rolling seed and getting all the race room set up. So thank you, Siberian, for helping out. Appreciate all the work you put in. Also, Soulblade for helping me with co-commentary. And if anyone in chat wants to try out the rule set, we encourage you. We'd love for you to do so. There are another 4 weeks left of another 4 qualifier races that are at the same time, Sunday at 1 PM Eastern Time, 5 PM UTC. And you only have to join 3
races in order to have the possibility of being eligible for brackets. So we'd love for you to try it out.
Okay, then left for me to say is only thank you very much for watching. See you next time here on ZSR.